캐넨도 그래서 왔습니다. 이거 디테일 탔어요? 탔어요? 앞으로
정면에서
앞에 자산을 들고
앞으로 나간다.
캐넨
제리.
캐넨 제리가 뒤에 캐넨 제리 잡았다.
제리 했는데.
근데 이제 나섰을 시대입니다.
숫자 차이가 너무나도 납니다. 대속사. 클리어.
DRX.
그런데 조금 더 앞으로 간다면 다시 한번 불리죠.
메가나르긴 한데.
자, 어려울 것 같습니다.
베이가 와요.
나를 한번 있고
터졌고요.
네.
일단. 자, 이러면서 디플러스 기아 더 치고 들어갈 수 있나요?
베이가 자, 불러 들어갑니다.
빠지긴
근데
했거든요.
하이퍼가
바로 왔어요.
하이퍼가
와 그리고 웨이가 진짜 앞에서
그렇죠.
아니 뭐 들어갈 수가 없게끔
와,
앞에서 막아주고 있습니다.
진짜 잘 받아.
자, 여기부터
제리
찼어요.
제리 전면.
한번
그리고
잠깐만
제가 보니까 저항이 비사.
하이퍼
나왔어요.
하이퍼
전면 나왔어요.
와.
KT
끌어들이기.
하이보이.
야, 이게 바로 하이프의 하이퍼 캐리다.
네. 싸움을 원하는 대로 할 수 있을까요?
들어오는 이 조합을 상대로 해서
네.
얼마나 때릴 수 있느냐.
뒤에 지금 수가
이렇게
이동해요.
말이죠.
뒤에 수가 이동해요. 뒤에 수가
이야, 이걸 이렇게 들어오면 확실한 기가.
풀매도
그리고 이거
게임
게임
끝날 것
끝날 수 있지 않나요, 게임?
네, 이대로
자, 이렇게 잡아냅니다.
잡히고요. 자 바로 치면서 근데 이게 앞에 지금 레오나 말파이트 너무 든든하거든요. 이거 뚫고 가야 되는데 DRX 입장에선 최대한 카이팅하면서 사건 지평선 이용해야 됩니다. DRX 일단 리시부터 치나요?
리시가 앞으로 들어가요?
세텝이 마크당.
자신감이에요.
데미지가 세텝밖에 없는데 세텝이 마크당이 오른쪽에서 말파이트한테 클리어. 아래쪽 가면
그냥 들어가요.
쿼드라킬! 스매시! 다시 한번 상대를 스매시! 스매시 좀 위험할 수 있거든요, 스매시?
살짝 튀어나오긴 했거든요, DRX가.
밧줄. 나왔어, 위쪽. 근데 스매시! 매우 경계! 그리고
네, 이거 잡혀요.
그리고 다이도!
딜각 나오고요.
그렇죠.
와!
제일 먼저
그러면서 들고 나가고
떴을 때 구도가 또 중요한데
DRX가
DRX가
한번 이득 포레스트! 오, 예, 와!
포레스트.
슈퍼스타 포레스트!
자, 말도 안 되는 플레이 픽포.
더 봐야 돼, 더 봐야 돼,
이거
더 봐야 돼,
이렇게 만든다.
더 봐야 돼, 진짜! 포레스트!
소름이 돋는 플레이였습니다.
너무 신나지 말고 원래 진짜 이러긴 했어요 우승할 때 하지만 막 진짜 이 100배 승사 모를 것 같아 첫판이 아니고 첫판 아니고 세 번째 판 세 번째 판이라 해야 돼 지금 상대가 2승 우리가 0 없는 세 번째 판 하자 그렇다고 찌르지 말고 꺾마 우주의 기운이 왔다 중요한 건 꺾이지 않는 야 이긴 판 기억해 이긴 판야 근데 첫판 좋았어 첫판은 나쁘다 이긴 판을 기억해 우리 잘했던 것만 기억해 그대로 합시다 아 나 무게 안 낄라 했는데 허리 보호대 찼어 허리 보호대 안 찰라 했는데 찼어 심장 좀 차려 그랬죠 가뿐하게 이길 줄 알았는데 허리 보호대 안 차서 이거 형이 안 찼어 예 우리가 국감 매기긴 했어 우리한 팀은 없어 나 이거 어때 지금 레타 가줄랬어? 야 내 옆에 가져 레타 올게 레타 제리 나 제리 바꿔할게 천천히 한 마리 야 이거 애니 나 더블 3초 야 펜타 제리 펜타야 천천히 진정해라 제발 진정해 너무 끝났어 진정해 하민이 형 나이스 알았어 그만해 제발 오케이 사랑해 소유민 집중이 아직 인거 아니야 잡아 알았어 지금 몰래 지금 보자 제리 어때? 제리 내가 막 갈게 제리 높을 제리 형 빼 제리 진짜 제리 필 못 잡았어? 잡았어 제리 높을 갈게 쳐봐 근데 이거 우리 프롬 상태는 살짝 빠른 거 아니 상대도 높으려 나 너무 쫄고 있다 상대 나 드립인다고 생각해봐. 근데 입장에서. 답이 없어. 어제 생각해. 어제 스크림. 못 막아 저거. 아 진짜 이거 이거. 못 막아. 거산이야 우리 거산이야. 거산. 좀 주고 있겠다. 거산. 컨트롤 3 눌러 그냥. 가자 몰렸다. 야 몰렸다. 괜찮아 보이긴 해. 빨아봐. 나이스. 천천히.
끌려 그냥.
나 공 안 낄 거야. 나 안 쓸 거야. 제리 노플 현미라 근데. 노플이야? 노플이야. 제리 노플. 막아. 천천히. 앞까지 오면 앞까지 오면 봐. 제리 노플. 제리 어때? 여기까지. 한점 팔렸다 우리. 팔렸다. 제리고 조심. 나 뛰어올 때. 빨리 와. 타워 쳐볼래? 타워? 나왔어, 쟤네 나왔어. 타워 끝내봐. 야, 끝내봐. 자, 이렇게 봐봐.
지난 플레이오프 1라운드 D+ 기아 경기 보시면서 좀 어떤 생각이 드셨나요?
굉장히 편하게 승자전에 갈 수 있겠다 생각을 했습니다.
역시 탑라이너 출신 맵다. 선생님 아니 오진이 형 아니 플래그를 몇 개를 넣는 거예요? 쓰는 거예요. 아니 플래그를 잔뜩 넣어. 아니 오진이 형. 아니 오진이 형. 거친 플래그를 한두 개도 아니고. 널 두드려 버렸어 사망 플래그를. 야 근데 이렇게까지 플래그 더 부서주면 사실 사망 아닌가야지. 저도 맞다. 대놓고 사망 플래그 그거 아니야.
저 일단 체급에서 이긴다고.
체급으로
발라주겠다.
3대0
되겠다.
쟤네 그냥 밤이다.
그냥 하면 우리가 이긴다.
근데 인정. 저기서 플래그 세웠어? 맞네. 역시 교수님. 계획이 있구나.
플레이오프 잡아내면서 이렇게 상위로 올라갑니다.
GG!
나이스.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas, joined by Wolf for only the second time. It's absurd. They've been trying to keep us apart, but we have made sure that we've come back together. I kidnapped Valdez this morning. No, I didn't actually do. I didn't actually do that. He's not duct taped to a chair in his room. I assure you.
There's no duct tape over his mouth, and he can reach a cup of water.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be fine. I hope that he's in the chat actually, so that he can confirm, so that we don't have police officers at his home or at mine or here. And we can continue. So, yeah, we've got it is the lower bracket final, otherwise known as the losers final, but we don't like using the word losers because we feel like that makes the winner of this team feel like still a loser, which is not very nice. Lower bracket final.
It is going to be exciting. We're going to find out who's playing against DRX just a day from now.
Yeah.
On Friday, which is going to be the final. So whoever wins this will have to immediately go home, rest, prepare, and then play against DRX. So it is going to be a tall order. Is going to be 2 best of 5s. That team will have to play very well if they're going to take the title. But it could happen. We've seen some crazy series in our playoffs. It's all basically going to 5s. And I think tonight is not going to be an exception. Like I think it's
No.
probably also going to 5 games today.
Yeah, although last time these two teams met, we do have some tape of the old KT versus DK, because with our new format, with the fact that we have a lower bracket, it does mean that we will get rematches of a lot of these matches. So last time, it was a KT 3-1, but it was like a disappointing one. I think a lot of
Yeah.
it came down to the fact that Rahel is not as good as Hype, and I think that that is not something that's really like a debate necessarily.
Yeah, no.
But recently, and we saw this, the top side of the map for DK is getting better, Wolf.
Yeah, it really is. And Pulbe has also returned to form. He looks
Yeah.
really good. So kind of scary. Rahel will do his job. Like he's serviceable. Like when his team has a lead and he has frontline, he's gonna play well. When Pulbe plays Cassante, like he looks really free. Like he's able to, and by free I don't mean like he's free, they're gonna kill him. Like I mean like he's unchained to just do damage and be an AD carry. So I think I still favor KT here, but the recent form of D+ and like KT's failure in their last series makes me, feel like it could be good.
I think this
copy
copy
pasta.
this copy pasta is good enough to get read. I think 'twas the night before Passover. Atlas sits in his cold room, blankingly staring at the wall. Blankingly, not a word. He lost his hair once again. His last words were, "I had to make the bet. They had a 2-game lead on DRX."
It's a good one.
You got me, T-Tal. You absolutely did. Nice work. Nice work, everyone. You guys banded together, and you created this yourselves, and you should be very proud.
I think we've created a new meme word for the broadcast, blankingly.
Blankingly. Is that like doing like sub 500 damage in the end of a game or something? He blankingly played pretty poorly that game.
Here's the bracket. As Atlas mentioned, we did have these two teams face off before. KT did win, but that D+ that we saw in that series was not the same D+ we saw beat T1, I think, on Tuesday. I think the D+ we're looking at right now looks way stronger than what we were seeing early on in playoffs, so I don't think we're going to have like KT stomping this 3-1 or 3-0. I did predict 3-2 for KT, but I think the series could go either way.
No, I agree. I think that DK showed that that top side of the map is still just as terrifying. I think Thanatos is just so good. And we saw, in fact, the top side struggle in their previous matchup. Of course, KT have been through the ringer so far, weren't able to take down DRX, who now await in the grand final. And so that's why we're here. And KT gonna have to bounce back, whereas the bounce back has already happened for DK, right? And I think that opposing momentum could be huge here as we introduce KT.
Yeah, and it will be Castle starting not perfect and Wei starting in the support. So this is the team that's used subs more than any other team in Challengers. We've seen, like, for the beginning of the season, Rebel was the mainstay support. Now, towards the end here, we're seeing more of Wei. Castle has been in and out, and here's the win rate here with these players. You could see with Perfect and Rebel, they haven't found as much success, but they've only used this combination 3 times, for example.
Yeah.
And you could see Castle and Rebel has been the one they've used the most in regular season, 30 times. But I think it really just is about these players' current form. Personally, I don't think there's like a specific tech that they're trying to do with this, or like Wei is better at engaged supports than Rebel is. I think that's not necessarily true. I think it's just Castle's performing better recently, Wei is performing better, so that's what they want to do in terms of the roster today. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rebel is subbed in this best of 5.
Yeah, and I also think that Castle and Wei looked really good together in their first series here, and then unfortunately falling down in their last match against DRX, and that was where they suffered most of those losses as a duo. Of course, there was the substitution in game number 5, and it felt like that move in unto itself kind of sealed the deal for that 5th game of that series. I don't like substitutions when it's a 5th game, especially not when the momentum's against you.
It's very risky, and it's very rare, and it puts the player in an incredibly difficult position mentally. And I think it's sometimes you could see it, like if it's a player who hasn't played for a really long time and has been waiting for an opportunity, sometimes that leads to like this sick moment where they're like, that's right, I'm back and I'm going to carry this, but it's very rare. As Hype is definitely the key player here for KT Rolster. I think Feisty having a bit of an off series in that last game they played against DRX, and Hype has been very consistent. And you could see his recent picks here. You see only a few games on these because he's played a lot of other champions throughout the season. But 3-1 Xayah. pretty good pick right now. Zeri being 1-1, only 2 games on, but it's banned a lot. So
it is, and the Xayah pick is like, it's come full circle to me, man. Like, I feel like we had Xayah just losing every single game, even in the LCK, over and over again at the beginning of this patch, and has now sort of, teams have realized the kind of compositions that you need to be picking her into, and I think that with the amount of priority that's picked for mid-game topside, the Xayah pick for the late-game insurance works out really well, especially with the fact that it plays into low range very effectively. So if you have these like death ball compositions, you just kind of plugs and plays.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it.
Do agree, as we are going to have D+ walking out on stage now, and you'll see a great photographer, Kenzie, who's going to get great shots of them as well there down at the bottom. But
nice work, Kenzie. You're doing a great job.
Bible is starting again here. So we are going to see him and not Loopy. This has kind of been the way that D+ have decided that they're going to change their playoffs fate here after losing to KT Rolster and dropping down to losers. See their win rates here. Both of their series going to 5s here.
Yeah, not actually reverse sweeping. So we're going to need to see the KT first 2 wins coming in so that we can actually get that reverse sweep.
If you watch the trend, like the teams, they're like when they're dropping games, it's moving
so this
towards
is a
the
3-0.
end. Yeah,
so it has to be a 3-0.
It could
and
be.
they would have lost the next 2 games if it is a 3-0. That's what we have to know. Bible's back. You know, LCK talent being brought into this D+ Kia roster, very similar to T1, bringing PCS champion MSI God Bay into their mid lane. Bible is now back, and we liked what Bible was putting out. Of course, he did get subbed, I believe. Wasn't actually cast in the series, but did he get subbed towards the end?
He was actually playing the entire series, and we were talking about like, okay, maybe Loopy is going to come in. Like, is Loopy coming in? But they never subbed him in.
Right, got it.
And I was calling for it because I was like, I think Bible has been a little bit shaky in some of those losses. He's a very aggressive player and often did get over-aggressive. But you could see his Leona was the pick that really stood out. He got POG on that pick, and that was the first game of the series where we were like, okay, the guy is back. He's sick.
Yeah, that was the 2v2 kill. Him and Rahel getting a 2v2 kill in that series was absolutely nutty. But I think that he did have weaker performances on things like the Lulu, not really being that Enchanter player. We saw, like, Bible made his debut, got POG in the LCK on a Mumu, right?
Yeah.
So, that's an important point.
He's known for his shot calling, right? And his playstyle has been likened to Barrel in terms of how aggressive he is, how much he communicates, and how much he like leads his team. And I think that this is the reason why I was calling maybe this guy needs to join Hanwha. They need a shot caller, and Life is okay, but Bible seems really good. But now that Bible's like the mainstay player on this roster, I don't know if he's going to another team. I think he's staying. This is going to be the matchup history between these two teams.
Yep, and this was, of course, the POG winners that collected it each time around. So, yeah, Lucid picking up the very first POG, but KT, of course, coming out actually ahead in that series. This was at the end of round 1, which was a rough time for D+, and this was quite early on as well. So D+ not quite having that resurgence just yet, as Feisty just picking up POGs left, right, and center.
And Rebel having a great Lulu game. That was a wild one. He had 21 assists that game, did only die twice. And then, of course, when they matched off in playoffs, this is when we saw Wade come back in. His Nautilus was really good. And then it was kind of the beginning of, okay, we're starting to see Malphite popping off a little bit. And then I think a lot of people were really surprised that KT won this series because of how D+ looked early in the season. But this was the moment where like my feelings about KT really peaked, where I was like, oh, okay, no, this team is maybe going to win the whole tournament. Like they crushed D+, they made it look easy. And now, you know, I think they've fallen quite a bit from where they were when they beat D+. At the same time, D+ trending upward, like you said, winning that last series against T1.
Yep.
So
this was also the series where I saw Wei's Nautilus performance and was like, is Wei actually the best player in Challenger?
Yeah.
Like, he was, I made that happened in chat because, my God, he just knew all of the angles, and we hadn't seen that much of him, right? It was Rebel throughout most of the season, so Wei really popping out and having a great one.
This is actually really cool. Like, we don't really take a look at match histories with POGs in LCK, and this is like the first time I've ever done this, so it's kind of fun to see. As Chronicler is the only believer, but notice that like the faith is slightly shaky for the KT voters here. It's like a bunch of 3-2s here. Only Hojin going for the 3-0.
And like honestly, a lot of this is due to the fact that we just saw KT beat them, right? I think that a 3-2 means that we're thinking that a D+ are on the right trajectory, right? KT haven't necessarily in their more recent matches looked quite as good, but we have tape of this. We know what should happen in theory, and Chronicler thinks that that extra momentum is going to push them towards a victory, and they could potentially do that. We'll have to see. Why is everyone only talking about hair bets, by the way? Like, what's going on here?
This is, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Papa also says he thinks it's going to be a 3-0. These are
A 3-0
the
for who?
predictions, or wait, oh, this is, wait, hold on. Is this actually, like, how many games that the casters have cast? Yeah, so this is Shim Jisoo and the Marine, and how many of, this is actually hilarious, like, how many, like, depending on who's casting, the games go longer.
Yep.
So when caster Shim is casting, like, it's going longer a lot of the time. When the Marine is casting, it's a lot more 3-0s, as you can see here. The Marines only cast one game that went 3-2, whereas it's been caster Shim.
Only.
And I don't know who's
3-2s.
casting today, actually, because I wasn't paying attention.
I
so
didn't see the
I think
Marine.
it's caster Shim.
Yeah, so it's probably a 3-2 is what we're saying. I think that's where it is.
That's actually
Oh,
hilarious that we got a stat for that.
Yeah, no, that's actually amazing. Also, Yundo, can we confirm the hair bet? What is the hair bet? We need to make sure that we keep that in mind. Apparently, Yundo made a hair bet. And
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. So Yundo, what is it?
It is Shim today, okay.
All right, cool. That means that we're going to be here for a while, settling in. Chairs are very comfortable, so very happy about that. You know, we're in good company. Hopefully, we're going to be able to have some dinner soon. That'll be brilliant. Also, there's an Ashe ban on blue side, which is odd. An Annie ban, not odd at all.
Yeah,
we should
not-
see that throughout the entire series, I hope.
So. Malphite also taken away here. I think a lot more teams should be banning Malphite on blue side here, just because it allows you to draft more comfortably and you don't have to worry about that pick coming over. So I do like to see that coming through. And it has been a pick that's been so troublesome for AD carries in the past. It allows Hype to just sit back and be safe and feel safe, and allows him to do more damage. And that's your win condition as KT, so just take away the biggest threat for AD carries right now. Just put that off.
Yep. Well, Zayaban coming in here, and now actually working our way into red side bans. Very interesting. Oftentimes we see the Rakan being banned instead. We saw T1 start doing that in the LCK, actually, and then that sort of trickled down here to Challenger as well. But it's the Zaya that's banned away instead, because KT have played it with Nautilus as well and looked great.
Yeah.
As the Elise is also going to be taken away from Lucid. Big surprise.
Now, Varus is a pick that I think Hype is very good at, even if he's playing on hit, and it's going to give you a lot of lane prio. So if that's left up here, I think that's probably the route that we're going to see them take instead of just picking Zeri. But they certainly could pick Zeri, but it's very difficult to play Zeri into the Varus in lane. So if Viego bans towards Hambach, interesting. And with Elise and Viego banned, I think they're expecting they're going to get the Varus into the Zeri, and that's a bold choice to make as D+, especially considering Rahel
Caitlyn
is the weaker of these two. I would love to see it.
And it's Rahel's Caitlyn as well. He has actually found more success on that champion than a lot of other AD carries.
Yeah, I agree. He's picked up POG in that series we were just talking about. Like the one game that D+1 was his POG on Caitlyn in particular.
I hope they do it. It could just be something a little bit more cheesy, and the Scion will come through. So there's
Okay,
the
this is going to be
Caitlyn Scion.
Caitlyn. I mean,
And
this is so good for the lane.
Oh
too.
my God.
If they do the strat,
are they T1ing?
Yeah.
Are they just going to T1 cheese KT?
I think they might.
That's not fair.
After banning the Scion every game against T1.
Yeah, it was Scion Maokai every time. And this is the thing that makes me really sad, because basically we didn't get to see Humble Life Esports in playoffs.
Yeah, it was
Because
actually
they
it was
were
wild.
they were the victims
Yeah.
of the initial cheese, and they gave everybody else the tape in order to stop T1 from doing it. And so now we're going to see DK's attempt.
I think they might just pick up the Maokai here, actually, right away. Because there's a few different supports Caitlyn can play with. You know, she doesn't need to have the Karma or the Lux to do well into Varus. She could actually even just play with an engaged support, and depending on what the lane is going to be. As we see Sejuani picked here early for KT, and we're going to get an idea of what they want to do for the Scion. Yeah, I like this a lot. That's a great pick into the Scion. It's going to have a lot of power in side lanes later on, too.
We were calling for this, actually, during the Humble Life Esports series as well. It's like, well, if they are going to play the AFK Scion, like, sit in bot lane, at least have a topside win condition, right? And Gwen definitely offers that. You put Cassante up there, you're just going to have a bad time.
Now Maokai's locked in. The question is, does KT now ban Rumble? Are they like, are you doing the whole strategy completely? Because obviously the Rumble Maokai Scion was a Draven strat.
Oh.
Caitlyn's gonna have the same sort of power.
Oh, Scion support? Could they just flip the script entirely? Oh my god. All sorts of crazy stuff could happen here.
Also, interestingly, if Scion wants to do that strategy on red side where they go to the red buff, maybe Castle actually comes and fights them, because at level 1 he will like smash that as Gwen. And I think that's something they might do is, okay, Draven is banned. They're like, it's Caitlyn support with Draven, and you're doing the Rumble pick as well as like that's what you're gonna try to do. They're gonna ban Rumble potentially now, even though the Draven isn't a thing. I actually like this ban a lot, even though it seems troll. It's actually smart.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because Rahel has been gravitating to the Draven as well, even though it hasn't necessarily looked good. I kind of think that Rahel not playing Draven is like gonna make DK fans probably happy, as Jace is gonna be picked up. Of course, with Gwen on the top side of the map, you want to avoid just having magic damage. As, oh my god, could you imagine like last pick Thanatos Nasus if they only pick magic damage and Varus?
Both of these teams are like they're cooking, so like they're putting on the oven mitts right now. Like, all right, we gotta ban the Draven, we gotta ban the Jace here. Like, just keep your oven mitts on.
Is
be
it
safe in the
Kalista?
kitchen.
Is Bible a Kalista
I think he
guy?
might.
I
think he
know.
might. I don't think. I mean, we don't know because we haven't watched him. Like, I mean, probably Chronicle has a better idea, but I don't associate him with Kalista. Ooh, Jin.
Oh, okay. So it's Caitlyn, Jin. Either of them could be support. There's a lot of traps in this lane. Kind of cool. The amount of setup, pretty huge. And now, that Rumble that you were talking about, Wolf. That
Yeah.
Rumble's looking scary.
It does look pretty good, and they banned the Lux, which is kind of a weird take because like they banned the Draven. I'm like, okay, you guys got to read on this. But then they banned Lux. I'm like, okay, maybe you don't have a read on this. I'm not sure.
And also, like, banning the Leona when there's Nautilus still up in its way is, like, kind of sad, because then he gets to go towards it and be very happy.
That would be fun. It's
It
not
would.
gonna happen.
This is a way to have some physical damage.
Okay,
in that
now
lane.
it's like you can't play Rumble now. I'm gonna all in you. It's gonna be a bad time. You can't play Kassadin, which I don't think they were planning on doing.
Yeah, that's
but,
true. They
that's
can't
another
play
pick you
Rise
can't
as
do.
well. Yep.
Yeah. They could just play Victor, I guess. Maybe that's one way to salvage this. If they lock in the Rumble here, they're gonna have a really hard time.
Oh my god, they just did it. All right, so it's Pantheon. Pantheon is going somewhere. In this game, he is going to one of the lanes that exists, or the jungle. That is what's happening here.
I think he's going mid, but it could be like Maokai top,
we could Scion
mid.
top, and it could be like the hard counter Pantheon into Gwen top lane.
I think it's gonna be mid. I think he just wants to be able to mitigate the Tristana in mid and then come down bottom side and dive repeatedly with his ultimate to make sure.
Oh
they
yeah,
can
actually
shut
there
the
is no
bars down.
top lane, is there?
Well, it could have been Maokai top, and then like the Scion mid, and he could have been jungle, but
True. But we haven't really seen the old Maokai top
it's
situation.
been a while.
We also like, so what, this is now the composition that makes Mao the most nervous, right? This is the anti-chronicler composition where it's like, oh dear, this is first strike. This is like,
It's
Flareon
red smite.
Pet,
It's
like,
red
oh
smite. Yeah,
God,
it's,
like,
it's happening.
yeah, it's like the horrible time. Lucid doesn't have to do that, guys. He really doesn't. Because DK, if they don't just like have the game plan work and smash them in the early game, his composition just doesn't
Yeah,
do
it doesn't
stuff.
do anything. Like, Jin is not a real AD carry. He's a pretender.
Yeah.
I think that the dives have to be really successful, and so the mid prio is going to be important, but unfortunately, Pulbay could just ult over Trishnan and just avoid her entirely and just go to the bottom side of the map by default. Maokai can ult that turret and just be like, all right, Hype, you can't farm. You can't get CS. And that's going to be the way. But I think if this game goes even at all with the Gwen and the Varus here for KT, they have the way better scaling comp. So D+ need to make those dives work. And that's not even including like what could happen at level 1 at red buff. So we'll see if they actually hard commit to that with this composition, because they do have a really strong level 1. Because Caitlyn's going to have Halo Blades. It's going to be very annoying in that level 1 fight if they actually do commit to it. High risk, of course. But Thanatos can just try to set up a dive and then go topside. And we'll see how KT responds if Castle decides to just push top, or if he's going to come down and help out the fight. They might not do it at all, because I don't think you have to, because you can just wait for that level 6 for Pantheon and play that dive instead. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I actually really like what KT has. Like, it's just a well-rounded, good comp, right? And their topside power is obscene. So DK, I think that they've taken a risk in this one, taking the old leaf out of the T1 book, and we'll see whether they can do it better than they did. As also, we'll see whether we can get the timing on the do-do-do-do-dos right.
Scared. Oh, I did one extra. No.
It's okay. If you missed the first one, then at least you've got an insurance do, you know?
All right,
it's always
they
good
are-
to have an insurance do.
they are
This is
doing
exactly
it.
what we expected, right?
Yep, they're doing it, and it looks like KT are just not gonna deal with this. Hype will get some poke down, maybe, if he goes for it.
Oh, he spots him. All right, gets all the info that they need, and immediately D+ know exactly what's going on absolutely everywhere. So,
Rahel's like, I wanted to get a Dark Harvest stack. Like, just walk into us, man.
So now this is a little
Gwen
bit of a
is
roughie.
proxying the minions, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
Castle is completely prepared for this.
No, this is exactly what they needed to do. This is why we were saying, like, the entire time, like, just pick Gwen. Just pick Gwen.
Yeah, this is actually super smart, and so much farm is going to be denied. Because he does this, the minions will crash into the turret faster, and Thanatos will lose more farm by sticking around. And we'll probably want to teleport as soon as possible, but like a whole wave is being lost already, and it's going to be 2 in just a moment. This Castle, as Gwen, can do this very easily in the early levels, completely uncontested.
Yep, Humbug is going to move over. So,
And Nautilus is super strong into this too, because you can just root and make sure you hold turret aggro.
yeah. And now KT just need to play defensively. If they don't die, they win.
Yeah.
That is how this goes.
Like, the game basically ends if this doesn't work out.
Yep.
So, good luck.
So Castle is going to go back. He can teleport to lane if he would like to. He can teleport bot lane to help this if he would like to as well. And there it is. The teleport towards the bottom side. Immediately the hook comes in. Thanatos will be taken down for first blood. And this is not how this one's supposed to be played. KT, they knew exactly what to do. His hike, he's gone rogue. I don't know about this one. They are going to be able to trade it back. Thanatos' zombie is going to be taken down. I got a little bit scared that somehow he managed to die twice, but it's not going to happen this time. And it's a 1-for-1, and that's a disaster for DK.
Yeah, that's a disaster. And I think if Hype just plays this safer, it's like dunzo the game. Now at least Jin got a kill, and Hype is dead, so he's going to lose some farm here. So it isn't the worst scenario.
Yeah, actually, that kind of turns it back.
Yeah, it's like, if he didn't die, it's actually amazing, but I still think it's pretty good. As
Yeah.
a lot of farm was denied from Thanatos. Teleports are traded, so if he dies to a gank topside, then it gets really bad. As you just walk right into Nautilus as we're... Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah!
And back in. There we go.
Yeah, the only thing really to break down there is, of course, the Nautilus insta-hook in the root, which is obviously why Nautilus is so strong against Dive, which was picked after Leona's ban. They didn't ban the Nautilus. You called out 2 ways of a fantastic Nautilus player. And the Hype chases because he gets greedy. He dies. So that's not great, but that was the one part of the replay we didn't really see. But you guys could see it in the CS numbers. A little bit unfortunate, but I think the game state here, overall, still pretty good for KT.
Yeah, and the thing that I wanted to rethink about the situation was the fact that Castle teleported and Thanatos didn't, right? So he got to go immediately back towards top lane, and even though those first 2 waves were just completely missed, he did get to spend a little bit of extra time up there without Castle around. So
he also lost a lot of experience, so Castle is going to be up on him, up a level on him for a while, which is pretty massive. He got early boots too, so now he can really put the pressure on, so I like that. And now Humbug is playing around bottom side here. They've got the lane pushed.
Humbug, it would be good if he like killed some camps. He doesn't. He's got 3 so far, which is not very many for right now because Lucid's like triple the amount of CS, and now Wei is going to walk into a trap.
Yeah, I think the idea here is just like make sure we don't lose control of this lane and Hype can farm, because the Klopp just massively outscales, as we've discussed, and he's willing to sacrifice his entire early game to make sure that happens, or rather that it doesn't happen to his bot lane, and that he could just farm normally. So it is going to start to become a problem when we have team fights and he has no money. But for now, it's okay. As the Pantheon, people are talking about, is it a lane counter? I think it's just fairly safe, and it is going to be great. Obviously, once he hits level 6, which is coming up soon here, he could teleport back to lane, be at full health, and then set up dives. And this is where things get really hard to deal with. He may wait for Lucid to hit level 6 because that's going to be the big combo where you Maokai ult, and you Pantheon ult, and you kill the Varus. And even though he has cleanse, he does not have flash, and you can only cleanse one of these amounts of CCs that can be running at you.
Yep. Also, Lucid, great read, understands that Humbug needs to head towards his top side eventually, and so therefore should be able to take this dragon for free. Will be able to do that.
There's the teleport from Pantheon. He's going to hit 6. I think he'll probably wait for Maokai, but, I mean, they do have this wave push. They're already grouped on Drake. They could try to make something happen.
Yep. I like DK focusing these dragons as well. It's going to be an Ocean second. Could be an Orcs Drake, which would be very sad for DK because they want to snowball, use that as their late game win condition. Yeah, Chemtech doesn't do that because it's terrible, which is sad. Pulbe has hit level 6, so the Grand Starfall, which I'm going to be calling Grand Skyfall throughout the entirety of this game, needs a disclaimer that I do know that it's been changed, but I think it's worse.
I was just thinking about that because the first time we cast Pantheon together, you and I were both like stumbling over like, wait, which one is it?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that recently. I saw a Pantheon game in another region.
Castle. Oh, Gwen's immune.
Yeah,
and if she wasn't, she'd be dead.
She has been putting some serious pressure on, but has been taking a lot of turret shots. As Tristana, noticed that Feisty has got that lane prio, and he's just constantly kind of hovering around bottom side, putting that threat on. And if Pulbe is forced to ult defensively, even that is a huge win for KT.
Oh, absolutely. We need to see some more from DK, though, because if this just very standard double 80 carry Gwen composition just freely gets to play, DK's comp doesn't win.
Yeah,
ever.
it never wins. Like, they have a 400 gold lead and a Drake. That is not enough. Thanatos is going bot with ult. Okay, this is the timing. This is the moment. This is the 5-man, we kill this turret, get all the plates, and deny hype from existing moment. Level 6 across the board.
Yeah, this is the your bot lane is dead, and it took them to level 6, and I'm really glad that they have understood that yes, this is how it has to work. As Humbug, he's in position. Guess what? He's not enough. They don't have
he doesn't have
teleport on
6
Castle.
either.
There is not going to be a way to make this one happen, and yeah, without Glacial Prison, oh god.
And no 6 for Varus.
This
oh man,
is not it. And now the train has left the station. Thanatos finds absolutely nothing with the ult. That was not great. But still, we'll see whether they can actually land this one as Hype.
Hype's
should be the one
alive.
going down. Rahel not tanking the turret. Wei is going to run into a sapling, and now Bible is looking for him. He flashes over the wall. There's the curtain call. And I have a feeling that Wei is... Oh, he gets
my god, what?
Oh, Lucid, can you find him? Is the kitty cat going to be able to chase? It's not. It's not happening yet. The Titan's Wrath, and it is 1-for-1 on the bottom side once again.
That was a. I'm gonna use a bad word. Holy shit! I have seen a lot of things in my time. Okay, but like the buffer of the plant with the hook to get over the wall. I think it deserves it. I'll say I've never said a bad word in League of Legends yet, and this will be the moment.
Yeah,
okay,
I reckon that's the
I
way
was
to
like,
do
I think
it.
it's okay. Now this is interrupted, which is massive.
Yeah, the Buster shot.
And like. Hype, look at his positioning. He cleanses extremely well, doing so much damage in this fight. And this is disastrous for D+ because they needed the Pantheon to be here because they want more kills than just one. And now you are only 20 CS ahead as the Jhin. And yeah, you have 2 kills. It's lethality Jhin because they need to snowball this game. And it's just not enough. I think this is definitely not enough. By the way, Gwen getting 3 plates topside during all of this, and I'm really sad we didn't get the replay of Wei like flying through the sky like with like Spider-Man from PS2. Like,
I wanted to quote the wedding singer, you know, like it was a cone, you know, like that one. Oh, but we didn't get the opportunity. That's fine. Maybe we'll get it in the future. KT now with a gold lead, and the problem is that they don't need one. This gold lead unnecessary. Comp is way better. So DK, they want to be able to get some more here for the Jhin on the bottom side, but it's a Jhin.
Yeah, it's a Jhin, it's a Caitlyn, so Caitlyn's utility as a support, there is some of it, obviously. If she goes for Umblave, which I think she kind of has to in this game, then you're going to have some power to, like, oppressively clear wards, but the damage is not... Okay, hold on.
All right, we're going for it again.
Is it
In
going to
goes
work?
Lucid. The man drop is going to come down this time, and they should be able to kill the bottom lane. They do. They take them out. Rahel tanks up the turret there as well as Feisty. He'll come down and try and at least pick up the experience. They take the full turret in the top lane, though. We'll see whether Shelly is going to be able to get another charge, but this might be moving towards some sort of lead, perhaps, but no, I don't think so. They're going to take second turret So first turret blood was taken here by KT already, and the
Yeah.
money went to a Gwen.
And I mean, Lucid is spending so much time down here. So, I mean, this is a really unfortunate scenario. Now, the game is still playable, like it's still winnable, but they need to get this Drake here, which they are looking like they're not going to do with the back timing they have. They're not going to have prio. And then they need to, like, they not only need to get the Drake, but they also need to beat KT in a team fight here now on Drake. I think KT is just going to be like, no, you don't have prio on this, you can't fight this. Yeah, you commit everything to this, and yeah, you do get the kills. This is exactly how this comp is supposed to work. But you needed to be snowballing this a little bit faster, a little bit better, and there's no topside control, and Gwen is the perfect pick into this. It's actually insane. She already has her Rift Maker online. She's now 30 CS up.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely nuts. And they need to find a way to win the game without ever interacting with Castle. And I just don't know whether that's a possibility.
Yeah, I just don't think so. And he's here, by the way, for this Drake fight that D+ need to win, and they can't win.
And so Castle walks in and says, like, no. We'll see whether DK can actually find themselves a team fight. It will be a 50-50 as Lucid steals it away. It's Hex Tech Soul, which is nutty. Twisted Advance comes in. They do manage to get a kill onto the support as DK push them away. And they'll be able to get themselves the 1-for-1, and they'll also secure the Drake. So a win for DK in theory. Does it really matter? We'll have to see.
I mean, the thing is, they needed like kills. They need money. One Ocean Drake alone isn't going to be enough. Like now, you're like, oh, watch out, Hextech Soul. Like you have to fight for these next ones. KT's like, I was already down to fight. We did fight. We won. Our comp is already online now, and they're finally going to get the last of these turret plates here in the bottom side of the map. So that's great and all, but Jin isn't really an 80 carry. So. Unfortunately, not going to matter too much, but at least they're hitting like some of the benchmarks for this comp. It's a really nice steal attempt here. It's going to cost him his life. Obviously, Lucid knows that this is all he can do here. Then you get waved, but you needed to win the fight. And you get some summoners like, okay, but this needs to be like a 10-3 kill score for D+ at this state of the game for us to feel happy about where they are, because the only gold lead is on a Jin, as you could see.
Well, it's also on a Caitlyn.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, and she's a champion in the late game, right? Support Caitlyn, support lethality Caitlyn, totally a champion in the late game, right? And the reason why it's lethality Jin is because, like, if this game goes past 3 items, DK have already lost. So it sort of has to be, which is sad because they're not accelerating the game nearly fast enough. For us to really feel okay with it. A lot of it to do with the fact that they just picked Gwen.
Yeah,
like Hanwha should have done in their series against T1.
The AP Maokai here is actually a good thing in this case because it's going to be helpful in terms of the damage they don't have. If he was a tank, they'd just be like, all right, well, we're tanking, we're frontlining for Jin, we're frontlining for Jin. Like, no, it just actually needs more damage now with the Scion you already have and the Pantheon that you have. The Pantheon, who also does have 2 of those kills, so that's significant, but he's not
good.
Yeah, he's not going to be a huge win condition in most of these fights unless they can blow up hype every time. But there's a second 80 carry, like you mentioned several times already, and then there's a Gwen with scissors that they're very sharp and they're very deadly, and he will have a lot of AP and he will do a lot of damage.
Well, the thing is, like, I guess here's the no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because Gwen exists. And,
it's like, wait, no.
Yeah, no, because it's lethality Varus, right? That's what I was going to get to. Like, if they, okay, well, we'll see whether Rahel survives this one. The Deadly Flourish does come down. Mandrop comes in as hype, completely out of this fight, but that is a very dead Caitlyn already. Way flashes to safety. Humbuck, he's not going to be able to do that. Lucid's going to be able to grab that kill as DK moved to 2 kills in the lead and a slight, but you know, and it is there, gold lead.
Yeah, it's almost 1,000. It's pretty significant.
An existent gold lead.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, Sajax has actually mentioned it in the chat. If they one-shot Tristana,
yeah, maybe
there is a way.
Yeah,
and it's like, not just the Nautilus.
If like you ult in as Pantheon and stun the Trist while Varus is trying to ult, and then you would get a double knock-up with Scion, and also the Maokai ult is then good. I'm like, wait a minute, there's an angle.
Yeah.
It's gonna get, like, right now it looks like it's still okay because we're trading kills like this, and KT definitely overextended a little bit there. Like right now, if you're watching this and you don't, fully have a grasp of how the scaling is gonna work, you're like, oh, but it seems not that bad. But in 10 minutes, it's going to be really bad. It's going to be like unplayably bad. So they need to get these turrets off of the map. You know, they need to start getting more money. Is ulting like this for tempo.
Curtain! Hype is going to get hit by the last bullet. on purpose. Oh, okay. Kind of dope. Deadly Flourish from max range. Rahel, I see you.
Nearly Deadly Flourish.
Yeah. Oh, shaking my head. Casters don't understand that Sion gets infinite health scaling. Very true. Got us.
All right.
Oh man, we just need to now stay in this game for 3 trillion hours so that the Sion's impossible to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it. But Thanadolia also like totally figured it out for
I
us.
actually thought I was gonna go home tonight. Like I thought I was gonna live the rest of my life.
Yeah, no.
I thought like
8
I was
trillion
gonna be
hours.
working to like earn money, but I guess I'm just gonna be trapped in this game for the rest of my life now
Yeah,
because
no,
that's
you
what
are.
we need to do for Thanatos to get online.
That's how that one goes. As DK gonna utilize Shirley in order to get some pressure around this dragon mainly. Feisty says, don't care about no dragon. I want to get some cash money from this turret. Not going to stick around though, just in case he gets picked off, as this is a fight that KT want to take.
Yeah, and I
These
mean,
Hextech Drakes are very important.
it's all up to Castle really to just break through this front line. And the Wombo combo needs to happen. Pulbe doesn't have ult, so he can't get into the back line.
Ooh,
It's
traps
going to
are
be
down.
tough. Yeah, good traps, and they have the Scuttle, which is actually pretty nice here. Okay, so Castle's flanking.
Yeah, and actually hasn't been, has finally been seen now as the fight is on. Lucid's gonna flash away as the Sion by himself in this one. They're trying to kill Castle, and the Sion actually ults away. It's a 1-for-1, and it's Pulbe that takes down the Gwen in the end, but the Drake is secured by KT, and that is very important.
Yeah, you look at the damage Gwen did in the fight. A lot of that is just because everyone was stacked on top of her, and that's going to be a problem later on. But what's crazy about this, too, you could see Sion has a Jack shows, so he's fairly tanky, and these longer fights obviously going to stack that up. But he didn't really look like a Sion in this fight because he's so behind. Like, watch how much damage Thanatos takes at the beginning of this fight and how quickly he goes down and how easy it is to front to back. And when you can 1v4 on the other side of the fight as the Sion's dying, imagine what it's going to be like when Gwen has another item. Imagine what it's going to be like when the Forest is actually starting to scale and will kill the Sion even faster. Like, so it's like, oh, okay, it's okay for D+, right? Like, it's okay. Like, they didn't get the Drake also.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse, guys. Like, I feel like a weatherman. I'm like, it's going to be bad here at 25 minutes, you know? I see...
the rain will not abate. By the evening, you should cancel your afternoon run.
It's sunny now, but it won't be.
I have bad news to tell you, sir. No, I agree. And I think that, like, that honestly went better than I expected for DK, because I kind of thought that Castle was going to dive in and then the rest of the team was going to be able to follow up. But Thanatos did a good job of just saying nope and then driving the train out of there. That was definitely good, but positional advantage goes to KT. They get themselves the best Drake so far this game as Castle. He's going to kill this turret, and he'll keep doing this forever and ever. And he's now got even more items. He's got a cool stick. He's got a book there as well. He's got some shoes. I mean, I don't know whether they're the right shoes, but he's got some shoes.
He is going. I mean, I actually think they're. I mean, he could have gone Sork boots, like I guess Sork shoes, I guess, but like, I think they're the right shoes because it's going to give him more Qs in the team fight, and that's going to be obviously all they need to win. But someone in the chat was like, casters are wrong, and they're doubling down now.
Because I want to be able to provide the other side of the coin. So let's.
It's like endorphins. There's bounties. 300 gold bounty on a Pantheon.
Wait, what are we doubling down on again?
We're doubling down on actually being right.
Huh. But wait, I think they're agreeing with us though. This is the thing. I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm confused. So
maybe
it
I'm
was
just
their
mean.
first time chat as well. So like I'm actually really confused.
I asked
But I wanna know.
ChatGPT to write the script for this game, and it told me D+ wins. Sorry, casters.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh no.
Because the quote is, they give bad... I don't know. I don't really understand. Anyway, that's fine. You just let us know. Like, if you want to explain why we're wrong, I'd love to entertain you in your take. Because we enjoy, like, bad takes and good takes. It's fine. Sometimes either of them
They have
true.
the really sharp swords in their inventories. Double Eclipse Atlas.
There is a... Like, I think their comp is quite lethal in the late game world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Deathcap second coming through here very soon, by the way. Castle, I didn't think he was quite going to be able to buy the second rod. He did. He also has been holding on to that amp tome. He's like, actually, I think I'm just going to go Deathcap. He was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go death cap. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he was-
I have
he
killed
was
2
either-
turrets by myself this game. Yeah, I think I will go death cap.
Yeah, there's like 2 schools of thought. It's like either he was going to like, he was just looking for the most AP possible, or he was thinking about going Shadow Flame.
I think he was thinking about going Shadow Flame, then he's like, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I actually think Death Cap Void Staff is just the best way to do it, because you're just going to freely get there, and you may as well guarantee that you're going to hit the most powerful spike possible as the game goes on. I respect it. Oh no, Lucid's gone for the Imperial Mandate build as well. I would have, like, if you're going to go, like, as much AP as possible, like, just do it properly. Just commit.
Yeah, just go
Like, just go
Leandri's, man.
Leandri's, yeah, like-
That's what I'm talking about.
Because now it's like you got the worst of both worlds.
Oh, look at this. KT's donating ward money over, too. They're really trying to give D+ a chance.
Yeah.
And they will also be able to identify these wards here in mid lane and clear them. It's pretty important.
Well, DK needs to get this Drake, otherwise
Yeah.
they'll lose the game, I think.
I think so. I think they needed the last
check
one,
in?
and they
what was
failed
that guy's name? Fast something. We need to check in with him to see whether he agrees that if they lose this Drake, that it'll be really difficult for them to win the game.
He was a first-time chatter.
I know, but like, I don't know. I just can't seem to find him again. I miss him, you know? Hi, Hitomi, welcome back.
Rip Marine, apparently. I do appreciate the old school though.
Wait,
Silent
what?
Symphony. It's just a Marine that says Rip on it.
I thought like Rip Marine, I'm like, I know he's not casting today, but like, I'm pretty sure he's alive.
Well, Rip us, because Caster
Yeah,
Ship is
Fast Turtle.
casting.
Where's Fast Turtle at? Fast Turtle, let us know. Let us know whether you like what it is that your take is and stuff.
My take is that Feisty just got an inner turret by himself, and D+ can't do anything about it because they have to fight for this Drake. And KT don't actually care about this Drake. Like, Feisty's like, I'll kill the Nexus.
Oh, we've got a team fight. As this could just be immediate pickup. Yeah, Wei is going to get destroyed, and now Castle might be dead. This could be huge. There is a couple of 80 carries that are free hitting, as Tristana's also winning the game by herself. So
Yeah,
let's ignore this, ignore this. Pull away, pull away. This is a great fight for DK.
Hype.
DK playing super good. Look at that. Absolutely. No, get away, get away, get away.
No, don't watch that. Don't look at this.
It's
D+
not
aren't
about
looking
the
at this.
game being over. It's not about that. DK, they're moving towards the Baron.
Is
Extraordinary,
this actually going
amazing
to happen?
team fight.
Is this actually going to happen? Because, like, no, look, don't look at this. Look away from this. It's like
Just
D+.
his way out. Oh my
This
god.
D+'s MO is just like, don't look at the Tristana. If we do the Baron, maybe it's good.
They're gonna teleport back. Oh my god! Imagine if like Feisty just like immediately goes back and wins the game. It's gonna dive on forward. Thanatos, he's not gonna be able to do anything about this. So the Baron is going to go into the hands of DK, but they're gonna sack. They're gonna sack second.
All right, so watch Castle in this fight, because unfortunately Maokai is really good into Gwen, because you get rooted, you get caught by Pantheon, you can't play the game, stunned, rooted, can't play the game, still not playing the game. Gwen still not playing the game, still did a lot of damage, but not really playing the game.
Yeah.
That was really well.
That she ever played the game during that little
She's mostly
period
been
of time?
playing the turret killing game this game.
Whoa! That's a wave flash. All right, Poolbay trying to get in there, but Hype is doing a lot of damage. Wade's going to get taken down. A train of supports thus far. Castle's free hitting, though. This is real
He's
scary.
playing the game.
He's kind of out of the fight. Okay, check the Nexus. Check the Okay, no one's there. Now Thanatos is going to be taken down. Rahel gets over the wall, and now the curtains have been called. They have answered as well. They've said, I'm here. And they're not going to be able to kill anyone. So it's fine. Bullets not going to land. Spear's not going to land. And the Drake is still alive, everyone. It's still alive.
Hold on, wait. Hype the steal angle?
Okay, Humbug the steal angle. Feisty the steal. Teleport the steal angle. Humbug in there, steal angle. Confirmed, not going to be there. That is Soul Point. Castle will kill Poolbay. Poolbay, big time dead. Real good dead. He might be able to take Feisty. No, not going to happen. He's going to rocket jump, the shortest rocket jump of his life, over the wall. And then he will survive.
It's actually kind of, I think this is fine, but I don't know if I really like the TP that is used to try to contest here, because now you don't have that.
The negative 300 Baron power play, what does it mean?
Yeah, I don't know, ask the guy in the chat. As this time Castle is playing the game, and he's playing it a lot, and so it's not great, unfortunately, for D+ in this fight, as he's able to do a lot here, and you can see that Rahel is not, unfortunately, because he's Jin. It's not even his fault. Like, hey guys, we're kind of memeing because the game ended really early on, and like D+ have actually kind of done a lot considering the game was over basically a long time ago.
Well, the game was like really difficult a long time ago, and honestly, like with the fact that they managed to get the Baron and the fact that they do have Soul Point, I don't think it's over yet. I think if they had lost that Drake, then it's over. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah,
it's close.
It's close. It's close to being over. And like, I think D+ are actually doing better than we expected, all things considered. But KT have made some questionable decisions, like now not having teleport on your Gwen when she could just literally push top and end the game. You know, these are things that you don't necessarily have to do. And D+ do get the dragon at the end of the day, so you committed to that and fail. But Castle is pushing, even though he doesn't have teleport, so we're going to trade turrets.
Deadly Flourish. Okay, here's the Nature's Grasp. They take down the turret first, and now the man drop comes in. There's the Sejuani dead. This could be the type of snowball they're looking for. Ignore the bottom lane. It's not about that. As Wei, will he die? The answer's no. Hype also down to 50%. As Poolbait's looking for Feisty off to the side. They'll take this inner turret. Gwen is still in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
and I think losing 2 inhibitor turrets probably not worth.
Yeah, probably not worth. He is doing a lot of damage because, as we've been talking about, picked up the death cap, and now she has enough money for a Void Staff, probably. Also trying to get away here. It looks like she will.
Yeah, Castle is going to wander towards that top side, tank a few turret shots, should be K.
Like, this is a trade of turrets that you just can't afford, unfortunately, as D+, because this Gwen can, like, 2-shot the Nexus. So, like, if she gets the chance to backdoor, then this is a huge problem. Imagine, by the way, if Castle TP'd in after they used the Maokai ult when they were trying to siege that turret. Like, if he didn't teleport into that dragon fight, he could have TP'd in and killed all of D+, and they win the game.
Yeah, or he could have stayed there and actually sacked himself for the second inhib.
Yeah.
And theoretically, they could have made that one work. The timers aren't great on the Drake and the Baron, so I respect his decision not to do so, because I feel like DK would have enough time to get those waves in order.
Yeah.
But still, it just feels like KT have so much, like, as this game progresses, KT's flexibility gets more and more. It only increases as time goes on, and they just get to watch as DK more and more desperately throws themselves at
I feel
them.
like Chronicler's like watching this game, like going like, these casters, SMH, man, they still haven't realized it's challengers yet, and that like, even though KT has all these beautiful win conditions and they definitely should be winning, like anything could happen here, and I'm like, all right, Chronicler in my head, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe D+ might win if they win one team fight, if they kill Hype, who...
I mean, if they get a Hextech Soul, they win. Because Hextech Soul's busted.
It's busted with this
It's
comp, for sure.
very
It
good.
actually makes their comp playable
Yeah.
in a weird way. And like, Sion will actually do a lot of damage if they have Hextech, because he's just going to get on top of people and burn them. The good old Ox Sunfire angle.
Yep.
And
Ox, the new commentator for the LCK and sometimes challenger, Ox, O-X.
O-X.
It's the new spelling
You think that's
of
his Zodiac? I wonder.
Ooh, Year of the Ox? Is
Yeah.
there one of those? Do they
I
exist?
think so. I think so.
Can anyone confirm? I don't think there is, but maybe there is. I'm not really a Zodiac guy, as that is going
Here he
to be a
comes.
Nature's Grasp. The train is going to crash into a Nautilus. The man comes down, and now Hype is going to be engaged upon, but Poolbait, he gets the same treatment. Feisty tries to get out of there, but he's not going to be able to do so. The mid laners are both dead. Way with the tiniest little dredge line. It's adorable, and the Sejuani's going to die. 36 seconds until this Drake is up, as well as the Baron's also 18 seconds away. Castle is alive, not immune, but also not there.
Yeah,
So they lose.
Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot. I mean, he did a lot of damage, but he wasn't able to stick around in the fight, and they ended up getting picked, and Hype was
Chronicler,
alive.
by the way, wants to remind you that it's Challengers, Wolf. It's Challengers.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
just like,
it's not
to
just
confirm.
Chronicler in my head, it's Chronicler in my chat now, too. And, yeah, well, this is going to be the Baron going over to D+. I still think KT are in a good spot in this game, but like, I'm starting to lose my faith. Like, I'm starting to believe that D+ can actually win this game. Like, each and every team fight they win, I'm like, all right, now we're starting to get a little bit worried. Is they are going to try to rush down this Drake. TP comes in. I think you can't do this as KT.
Yeah, KT kind of trying to
Is
figure out what they
Castle
want to do.
Just going to TP top and like try to end? Like, what's the angle here? It's going to buy a lot of time on this Baron buff, at least, if they stick around.
Yeah, that's true. And if they win a team fight, I mean, that Baron kind of don't do nothing. Or doesn't do anything, if I was to use English. Okay, Thanatos going to move down. Train at the ready. And all right,
TP.
teleport going to come forward. It's going to be a 5v5. The Challenger 5v5 as Castle is going to get round.
Here he comes.
Oh, Pulve's going to have to ult his way in. Let's see where he's going to land. Nature's Grasp is decent as Thanatos going to get taken down after the flash, but Hype is also dead. Lucid trying to get on in there. They take down Pulve, but there goes Way as well. Castle, oh, the bullets! It's Rahel! He's going to save it! That's how they do it. That's
Okay.
the angle they needed.
Can Feisty actually turn around and do something here? He's level 17.
Well, Twisted Advance, dodge that. Well, I guess they can kill him, but the rocket jump midair, and he's going to be taken down by Bible's auto attacks.
I mean, Rahel is doing big damage. He is, by the way, 19 of 20 in terms of kill participation this game.
Yeah, no, he was 13 out of 13,
Yeah.
like up until these shenanigans.
And like, I mean, they win the fight.
Drake
They
was
do
secured
not,
by KT.
Yeah, they do not get the Drake though, so if they get the Drake, I feel like, all right, man, I think D+ have done it. Now I'm like, well, they can still do it, but like they haven't quite done it yet.
I think it's still kind of fine for KT.
Yeah,
Like, weirdly enough,
I
still
know,
think
I know,
it's kind
it's
of fine.
this is just so bizarre. Now, Castle goes on a huge flank here, but unfortunately, even though they're able to kill Thanatos, he's Scion, so he comes back and still continues to zone. And
Wish he hadn't a flash.
Hype is instantly deleted. If Hype lives here, then I think that this is 100% a one-team fight for KT, but he doesn't. So, like, D+'s target selection has been great. They sacrifice Thanatos to get on top of the 80 carry and kill him. They're playing their comp exactly the way it's supposed to be done. And even though they were not getting the leads we expected and what they needed to do, they've gotten weirdly a lead here in the late game. They're like, we're now actually online, even though our comp is at weakest point now here. KT are just kind of dropping the ball a little bit, and it's winnable. 30 seconds left on this Baron. Trying to push an inhib.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see whether they can actually do it. Right now, the siege is pretty good as the curtains have been called. They're underneath. You can't see the triangle. It's kind of cheating.
Feisty on the flank.
Yeah, Pulve going to get teleported on here as he wanders past, spots exactly what Castle's trying to do. In the 1v1, the Pantheon kind of looking nice as both of them going somewhat immune. Yeah, Needlework is going to be pretty good, but Pulve, he goes golden at exactly the right time, gets the 1v1 against the Gwen. What is this? Where am I? How are they doing this? His Way is dead, Humbug's dead, and DK, I guess they just had a better team fight comp in the late game at the end anyway. As there's the stick, that's the 1v1.
Trying to push the end.
Versus Gwen.
Bible, he's got a GA.
And Rahel, he's going to go golden as well. So this is the end of the game, guys. DK, just, you know, they got their late game comp to the very end, and they just utilized it in order to win the game against KT. I don't know what more to tell you.
I guess that's it. I guess the guy in the chat was right all along. Fast Turtle 23. Fast Turtle 23.
The chatter was right. No.
Fast Turtle 23, first time chatter.
Yeah.
Coach of D+.
First time chatter, first time caster destroyer.
Oh, he destroyed us so hard. Now, a lot went wrong here for KT, and I think they made some poor decisions on the map. But I think credit where it's due. Rahel popped off, and I will vote for him now, actually, in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm voting for Pulve because he 1v1 to Gwen.
yeah, that's also cool. And his target selection was great. His flanks were amazing. I think you could really vote for anybody here on D+. They played the comp extremely well.
It was definitely Rahel. I can't even meme. That's impossible.
But like, KT really dropping the ball in terms of what they could have done on the map, I think, here, because they had so many win cons they didn't use. They kept forcing fights that were very difficult to take. And D+'s lead wasn't big enough at like the 15-minute mark. We're like, oh, game's done. But then they got a bigger lead at like 24 minutes, and then like they started snowballing the game again. And at that point, the Pantheon and the Jin were so big that like Hype's like, I can't out DPS them. There's too many threats. He's like flashing and cleansing and getting away, but not always getting away. But when he does escape, he escapes with like 10% health, can't actually do any damage in the fight. He's out damaged by the Tristana in this game, which I think is like all we really need to say.
Yeah.
Tristana does a lot of damage, but like you're the late game win condition here, and unfortunately there were too many ways to shut him down. And Castle's team fighting, leaving a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, this was the issue, is the fact that like Dayki. How did I manage? DK.
Good old DK.
DK just found the team fights that they were looking for, and they also just got enough. I think the first Baron really helped solidify it. The fact that they ignored a Tristana taking their entire base, or half of it at least, and then hard committed, I think that's a large reason as to why they won this game, because they committed to the game plan from the very beginning, and they did not let up. And
Well-
KT got a bit flustered towards the end.
Sometimes the weatherman's wrong. Sometimes it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry if you carried your umbrella, chat.
By the way, I have a feeling that one guy just got like stealth mega banned by Valdez. That's what I assume happened. And that's why he's not chatting
I
anymore.
want him to chat. Well, I think he said a bad word about us, and so like he got auto-modded.
Oh, maybe.
But I said a bad word on this cast too, so I guess that makes 2 of us
Yeah,
now.
that's true. There we go. There we go. This was a fun game, though. And actually,
Yeah.
like, in the end, it was a Jin. It was a Jin that got them there. It was the curtain call damages. It was the cleanup. And that makes me kind of sad, but also kind of impressed. 7-0-14. He can even do some math.
His kill participation at the end of the game is 87.5%. He was involved in everything that they did. And his ults were amazing, just straight up. And his flourish follow-ups, which are easy to do, like obviously if you have set up CC for them, but he was always hitting them instantly to continue that CC chain.
Yeah.
And like the team really looked like a well-oiled machine. Rahel reminds me so much of Ghost as a player. It's actually crazy.
No, it's nuts. Like this is just old school D+. Like,
Yeah.
Or this is just dumb one, right? From 2020.
Yeah, like Lucid is Canyon. Okay, Thanatos is Nuggery. All right, we've seen it. Pulbay is Showmaker. It's the same thing.
Yep.
I mean,
And-
Bible is Barrel. Like we already talked about this. It's literally the old dumb one. Like,
It is,
oh my
it
god.
is actually just the way that they won in 2020. So we should just realize that this is a world's winning formula, and we should not ever expect it to lose. Is pretty much how it's supposed to go. So I feel a little bit silly after this one. Thankfully, that one guy, he told us. He let us know exactly what was supposed to happen here. We're going to go to a short break. When we get back, we'll see what more shenanigans DK have prepared for us and whether KT can answer them. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas. I'm joined by Wolf, and this is game number 2. We were also joined by Fast Turtle for the last game. We just want to say thank you for providing so much content to this broadcast. We appreciate you so much. It was fantastic. Yeah, I think. Thank you, Fast Turtle. And all memes aside, I think that, had a pretty good point.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was winnable, and they did, in fact, win also.
Yeah.
And, like, Gwen wins late game better than, like, she's a better late game win condition than what they had, but the Maokai made it very difficult for her to do things. There's a lot of CC.
Yeah, and look, the reason why Gwen would theoretically be great is oftentimes Maokai is used as sort of CC used at range, and Gwen doesn't care about that. If she finds the right flank, she kind of just kills the entire team. We saw that almost happen multiple times, but the main reason why KT should have been able to win is they had Tristana and Gwen. Do you know what they do? They destroy turrets. They do it extraordinarily well. So 1-3-1 would have been an avenue for success.
Yeah, they sort of did it, and then they didn't.
Yeah, they really didn't. It should have taken like 4 people to kill Gwen. It did, but it was only in team fights that they really tried to do that. So with a better game plan, KT could have definitely won that. And they should have been able to, but they didn't because it's Challenger, and D+ played their composition incredibly well.
The thing about Gwen, too, is, like, she's not inherently tanky as a champion, especially with the build that you go, but she's tanky because she does a lot of damage with the Omnivamp on her Mythic, which name escapes me right now.
The Niels, the Riftmaker. Yeah.
And because she was just CC'd repeatedly and couldn't actually heal, like, she was destroyed by all the lethality damage. Like, it was really hard for her to actually team fight because of that, so... The game went very interestingly. We'll see what happens here as we go into the second game. I hope we don't see a Scion ban because that really wasn't the problem here for KT, but it's Challengers. And I mentioned this because I knew we were going to see it because they're just like, I'm not going to deal with this.
Well, Lucid's just like, you can see, having a little bit of a giggle here about what's going on. And DK with it's basically getting a free game win. With this one, the fact that composition actually worked, they don't really show KT any of what they're very comfortable with.
Yeah, they get a free ban too. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice for them.
Yeah, it's really well done. And so now their final ban to come through here. We'll see what it actually is. They could take away the Varus if they want to deal with that, but once again, it will be Viego taken away from Humbug, and they haven't changed anything in their bans whatsoever.
Yeah, I wonder if D+ are going to try to play Caitlyn again, or if it's going to be the Zeri that I expected. Like, I thought this is what the draft was going to look like last time, but they were like, we're doing the Scion strat, so everything became about that, and, it worked out for them in some ways. Yeah. They got the W, so we'll talk about the future and not the past anymore, as Zeri will get locked in. So a very difficult lane to play in Varus. And it's also surprising to me, like I was saying in Game 1 when we discussed this, that they're going to opt into Rahel having to outplay Hype in team fights and stuff like that. That's not normally how D+ plays the game, but they will do it this time.
And now we'll have to see what they're going to pair alongside the Varus. Something like a Heimerdinger that is still left available. One of the most banned supports that we have here in Challenger. It's a very different area, you know, like support Heimerdinger, nerfed to the ground. It is somewhat still picked. Is Rakan Varus going to be picked up here? Makes me feel like it could be the on-hit Varus variety.
I think it is going to be, but I thought if they were going to do that, they'd just pick Nautilus because press R on Zeri win game.
Yeah.
Now Nautilus is going to go over to D+, and they will be able to shut down this Rakan pretty well in lane. And also out of lane with Vi and Nautilus, Rakan is very vulnerable. I think if you're going to pick Rakan, you probably want to get some more information about what D+'s comp is first before you lock that one in, but that is what they've elected to do. Not my favorite. I would have liked, like you say, something like a pushing laner or a Nautilus, but not the Rakan, which is neither.
I don't know whether this is a copy pasta or what, but like, man, that was rude. Weird. Anyway, DK, yeah, they're going to lock away the Nautilus, and I don't really like the Wukong and Rakan together. But yeah, it's is this actually like a copy pasta? Like a I'm not entirely sure.
I don't want you guys to feel unwelcome, by the way. That's weird.
Yeah, no. If that is actually how you're feeling, then we really apologize.
Yeah,
because that's not how it is. We even love Fast Turtle.
Yeah, Fast Turtles are bro, man.
And actually, I love how like now Fast Turtle's like on our team.
Yeah.
Oh man, what?
Oh, Chronica got him, man.
Yeah. Did Chronica boom him forever?
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He just wanted to share his thoughts, but
yeah. Well,
Chronica said no, and that's the end of that.
Yeah,
so,
well.
Sorry if you felt unwelcome, but Chronica said you are unwelcome.
Casper's got it though. He's like making sure that he lives on.
All right, so let's go back to the draft a little bit here. As we do see the Malphite is banned, which I think is really important because there's a lot of follow-up CC for the Malphite engage onto the Zeri, and then there's Rakan, there's Wukong, so. Smart ban, and getting rid of Feisty's Rise is always a safe thing to do because mid-prio is going to be so critical in this game.
It's like there's a wonderful, amazing, and lovely, and everyone's just adapted the copy pasta. I like it. You guys are really lovely. Okay, so what have I missed? I've been paying attention to what's been going on in the chat here for a moment instead. So the Rise Malphite taken away here by DK. The Veigar going to be locked in here. DK with a very comfortable team fighting composition, and KT, a lot of options here. Don't know about the Yasuo counterpick into Nah. This was a thing.
Yeah, for a second I thought it was locked in. I was like, don't do that.
I like this one a lot more.
Yeah, this feels much stronger. And it's going to be Ahri, yeah. It's going to be Ahri because they're like, all right, we're going to try to deal with this Veigar that's pretty immobile, and we're going to have the Vi to follow this up. So I think this game is straight up going to be about how well D+ can handle the pressure in the early game, and then can Rahel pop off on Zeri. The Ahri pick is strong in these mid-game skirmishes, and it's like, weirdly, in a lot of ways, when you look at Zeri, like, oh, it's a late-game comp because she's scaling and she's really busted, but sometimes you can actually have like kind of a mix where you have Ahri Vi so that you can win those skirmishes, so that Zeri gets kills early and actually comes online faster. And with the Nautilus pick that they have right now, this team fighting comp for D+ does extremely well in the late game, but also in the early game, actually. And we see Zeri, because she can chase so well and does so much damage in the early game too, sometimes you just get a Zeri moment early. I think that's what D+ are trying to fish for.
I agree, and I actually think that the Ahri kind of serves so many purposes here, which is kind of crazy. We see it picked into the Veigar just isolated in the 1v1, right? Like, this is something that has been quite popular, even though you'd think that, like, trapping the Fox inside the Event Horizon could be a good thing. In lane, Ahri does do very, very well. And now you compare it with the Vi. You can actually get to these mid-game teamfights that DK are looking for very comfortably. Like, the cohesion in, you know, it's a short-range comp, right? Going into both Jace and Varus, but if they ever find their targets, if they ever find that team fight, like, man, this composition works very, very well.
Yeah, I think both these comps are very good. I think KT is going to have a lot of early prio, and that's good because Wukong isn't going to be doing too much on his own before level 6, but it's all going to be about, for me, like, how well D+ team fight. Because I don't think they're going to fall apart early, and I think the early skirmishes, KT needs to be very wary of this. And the Rakan pick is really still the one that's sticking out like a sore thumb for me for KT, because I think it is going to be very difficult to execute on this pick in team fights. There's just so many threats. He's very squishy. It's going to be hard to clear vision if they lose mid-turret, for example. It's going to be a tough game for Wei, for sure.
No, I agree. I think it could be difficult. If they do manage to find the angles, I can definitely see it for KT, but this isn't the same game that it was last time, and I am very happy to see it. Do you know what I really want to see? I want to see Fast Turtle's opinion on this one. So we'll give him some time to write down his thoughts as we get ready to do.
Nice.
Hell yeah. I feel like we nailed it. Did we nail it, or we missed the first one? I don't know. I'm hoping that we nailed it.
I think we nailed it.
Maybe like our timing is like a little bit off, like our speakers like slightly mistimed to what we hear on stream or something.
That actually
maybe?
could be, yeah, that's a possibility.
Oh, that could actually explain as to why like we always think that we're on, or it's actually okay. Never mind.
I think Valdez kind of theorized that might be the case once.
Yeah,
but we
right.
never really, looked into it
I'd never
too much.
thought about it.
Always feels like you guys nail it to me, yeah.
Okay.
I always tell myself that before you go to bed at night. I thought I was a little bit early that one time, but I think I was exactly
I think
right.
we nailed it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd read your name, but thanks for saying that we were perfect, even though I can't read your name, because I feel like that would, I don't want to be fired. I know, like, Wolf did a sweary word last time around, but, like, with the name, like, I just don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. Okay, so, DK, trying to find that mid-game window, and KT just wanting to get some priority in these lanes and get these picks and poke working out for them.
Yeah, we do see that both of these AD carries have opted into the Doran's Blade, which usually means you think you can fight, and they are going to, at level 1 here, at least get that first Nautilus Dredge line.
Actually, yeah, like picking for early prio. I actually thought Rahel might go. Oh, thought that he was out of that grand entrance. Now has to cleanse immediately. Does get rid of the ignite, so that is definitely important. It's wasn't like he was trying to cleanse a knockup.
Yeah, it's a recon lane where you have Relic Shield and you can push the lane pretty well, and Comet is going to be really nice here too into what they're running. Even though it's like it's not as Lulu, having that Comet is still very nice for additional poke and extra damage, and I think we probably are going to see lethality out of hype, because you really do need the lethal tempo if you're going to do anything else. And for Castle here, you're obviously building lethality too. I don't think it's going to be a Gore Drinker game. I really hope not. So yeah, you have a lot of poke, a lot of damage here in early and late game with KT's composition. So there's not a whole lot of setup for you in these fights. Like, all you have is a Wukong. You're going to have to rely on that. There's so many good ways to peel here as D+ and shut down that Wukong engage. So your poke needs to hit, basically. Because if it does not, you can't just be like, all right, well, we'll just ult on him. It's like, not so much, really, actually.
Yeah, and the hard engage is definitely just, it's there for DK if they want to press their buttons.
It's really good for them, yeah.
And I think it does rely a little bit on Poolbay getting some advantages throughout this early to mid game. Right now, Feisty is laning very well, and of course we know that Feisty is just really good at the video game. So he should be able to hold his own here in this mid lane. I think we're going to be looking towards Lucid and Hopper to get this game going for both of their teams.
I am going to have to request that Fast Turtle 23 gets the VIP badge.
Yeah, he's going to need that.
Talk to Kespa.
Yeah, I think he needs that. In fact, can we just mod him? Maybe we could mod him.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's the way. Because I just feel like that is such a beautiful turnaround. You know, like I think that's just the most heartwarming part of today. Dave has been asking me what the least not good Aussie beer is. I don't understand the question.
Is it Foster's?
There's a lot of really good Aussie beers, and like, yeah, Foster's is terrible. Geelong Bitter is terrible, but it is very cheap. I mean, the least bad, it would be a craft beer, and it'd be one of like 40,000 different beers, and I could say any of them.
And you'd be right with each of them?
Yeah, I would, yeah. There's like Quad X. Oh God, I hate that beer so much. I didn't even know that it existed until I went to Queensland or Northern Territory, where they just only drink that. Not a huge fan.
Castle with the missed cannon and sad shock blast. It's okay. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Right now he's got a lot of pressure on, but you can see Thanatos actually leaning quite nicely, only down a couple of CS as these waves crashed. Great charm here from Poolbay. Going to get a bit of damage on Feisty, who just walks it off, or waddles it off.
On the bottom side of the map, Hype did go by his tier, grabbed a longsword, so he's going to be able to come over here and start stacking that up, but no jerk fire or anything like that, so not a huge spike. But it is pretty standard to get this tier early and start stacking that up.
Yeah, I actually think that it's probably a bit of an early back for the Varus. Often you want to be able to get to your serrated Dirk.
Yeah, it makes me feel like with the back timing here for Hambach too, they're just going to try to Drake with the prio they have. This nice hook from Bible.
Yeah,
it's actually, that's like a fourth of Hype's health bar right there. That was really well played.
Nailed it.
Ultimately not going to matter too much here, but
good to know that his eye's in. You know, like that's what you want to see.
Yeah, he makes the plays, man. Bible, he doesn't hesitate. Thanatos.
All right, could be in trouble here as Castle getting him on the ropes. Does have teleport, but he's greeting for it. And if he, oh man, if Thanatos had just reacted and used his hop, then he could have just died. As now Lucid is here to at least hold the wave if Thanatos wants to go back or go for a counter gang if there was something being set up here. But Castle doesn't have any mana left, and it looks like Thanatos is out of the woods. So actually, like, in the end, works out extremely well for the Na player.
Yeah, it really does, and it does not bode well with how the Shock Blasts are going so far here for Castle, for how this team fighting comp is going to have to be played. As we do have the pickaxe by here for Castle as well. And this early game has been quite slow-paced, but neither of these team comps need to force anything early. Like the Varus into Zeri with a different support would be trying to get plate gold early, but with the Rakan, not so much. As here we go, Poolbay.
Yeah, just going to immediately cleanse. Does have the unsealed spellbook, so has access to that one.
That's really important in this matchup because you don't want to build Merc traits on Ahri. You need to get the Lucidity boots, so having the cleanse here, but now it doesn't have it, of course, so that is important to note. But was never really any danger there. As we are finally going to see the Drake start up, but actually by Lucid. Interestingly here.
Looking to try and clear this one out. Avoids the Baleful Strike. And we'll be able to get back to lane. So far, Poolbay has actually been just laning very, very well, but hasn't stopped Feisty from farming, right? Like, this is a pretty happy Fury Horn Liger, as there is enough. Nice little wallop there as well from Thanatos, but does run out of steam a little bit here as he runs out of buttons, and so therefore the trade's going to be relatively even, but still good to see that there is some fight in this Gnar. As Lucid's going to do it again, does spot that there is another control ward in this pit, but with the bottom lane entirely back to base, looks like D+ should be able to grab this first dragon.
There's the Dirk buy for Hype. Unfortunately, not going to be able to use it right away here, and this is going to be D+ getting a really nice early Drake lead. It's Ocean Drake. We'll see what the second one ends up being, but this could be actually huge for them if they're able to stack two early with his Zeri composition. It's Cloud, so I mean, we're looking at probably a good Dragon Soul here, probably.
Is it Year of the Ox Wolf?
It could be.
That might be why there is. Okay, that's a flash.
Bible?
Bible just gets in there. Oh no, and cease and desist is going to mean that the cage does nothing. First blood goes to Lucid. Oh, Bible, where have you been all year?
Man, this is actually crazy how much of an impact he's making in these really important series suddenly. And it just makes you wonder, like, why was he benched for so long? And, like, Valdez and I were theorizing, okay, maybe he goes a little bit too hard sometimes, maybe he's a little bit too aggressive. And sometimes a play like this can backfire, but not today, and not on Tuesday either.
No, it's not a Tuesday kind of play.
No.
That's absolutely true. Like,
Definitely
you're not going to mess that up on Tuesday.
No, and, I mean, that's a huge win. Now D+ have the Drake early here picked up. They pick up an assist for their Ahri, you know, kill for Lucid. They're not going to be able to turn this into a Herald take, unfortunately, but it's about as good of an early game as you could hope for here.
Plate goes to the Ether. So that's
denied.
Bad. We're going to check this out. This could not have been more awesome.
And you feel safe as the Veigar because you have Event Horizon, but unfortunately the timing was just too lucky for Bible. He's able to get through, and he flashes.
No, that's not luck. That's not luck. That is just pure god tier skill. I'm going to give it to him.
If he Event Horizons at the beginning of the hook, then you know you're going to feel very safe, obviously, and he kind of waited there and didn't flash because he wanted to save it, and he loses his life for it. So very nicely played from Bible, very proactive.
Yeah. It's beautifully done. And in the meantime, Rahel is just going even with the Lethality Varus on Zeri. So if you're a DK fan, you are just sitting pretty. You're just feeling good. 400 gold in the lead here for D+. And they just kind of want to get to like a mid to late, right? Like, it's not like a late game composition. And honestly, I feel like KT gets to a point where they can kind of outrange, make things difficult for DK. But if it's once again going to boil down to team fights, man, D+'s comp just does it really nicely. As now going for a bit of a pickup. Event Horizon going to get flashed. Pulbay will survive for now. Has to use everything. His ultimate, Spirit Rush, as well as his flash to get out of this. And Feisty going to be missed there by the charm, and so therefore will be all right.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. There's going to be a back for Pulbay, but he has teleport, so shouldn't be too impactful here at the end of the day. And the Iron Spike Whip coming through, it is going to be the Gore Drinker Jace, right? We saw the pickaxe earlier, and it, told the story, but we are going to a mid-game now where the Jace isn't going to be as strong there. It still can do a lot of poke damage. Just because you don't go Eclipse doesn't mean you're not a threat, but you're less of a threat early. Yeah, and I don't really like it that much, to be totally honest with you, but it is going to be good for these brawls that we might find ourselves in when we get to third Drake, for example. It's going to be very nice for him to do some additional burst damage, especially in a cage. Like, it works really well with the Event Horizon because he wants to kind of get up in the thick of things and do a lot of damage and then survive with his Core Drinker when the engage comes through. But it's not really that type of comp. Like, it almost is, but it's not quite, you know? Like, I think KT's comp has somewhat of an identity issue here with how they're playing this Jace.
Yeah, it's almost like it feels a little bit more reactionary. And of course, like, the one thing that feels really out of place to me is the Wukong. And the Rakan, I guess, to a lesser extent. Of course, Rakan does give you some ability to start fights if you want to, but with the Jace and with the Lethality Varus, like, I don't think you need engage quite as much because you do have that range advantage so much that you can just play footsies and kind of win the war of attrition that way.
Yeah, imagine if they had a Karma in this comp too, and how much the movement speed could really help out, like disengaging, getting away from D+'s engage.
Yeah, not to mention like the extra lane power. I kind of like that.
That would have given them a lot more power, because right now it's Azeri who has a lead in the bot side, that's picking up plate gold, you know, and this is problematic. Speaking of plate gold, we'll be a little bit going over to Feisty here, but look at this. I mean, Azeri into Varus getting this much power is just not how this is supposed to go. It's Lethality Varus with Comet, and the Rakan offering nothing into the Nautilus. It was just the easiest pick of Bible's life to be like, all right, well, I guess we just win this.
Yeah.
And it makes my comp stronger, and now we can play Ahri, and it makes more sense, and everything works together.
3 plates here
That's
on the bottom side as well for Azeri. We are like a minute and a half away from these plates falling down, so an opportunity to possibly get down there and do a little bit more. Lucid just going to start off on his blue buff as Pulbay moving over Vision as Bible is going to come over. We'll see whether he actually gets the sweeper out and does spot that ward to get some vision down himself. But Humbok, he's level 8 now. They haven't really had a big Cyclone play yet. And of course, the first one of those is where you really understand whether this Wukong is going to start doing stuff.
I just don't
have
think
himself
KT
his Divine Sunset.
Yeah, I just don't think KT should fight this. Like, I don't think they can. And if they tried to, it would be disastrous. And this is the, like, early mid-game power I'm talking about with Azeri in these comps, where you have an Ahri, you have the pick power, you have control. Going in.
Right, yeah, they're going to look for it, as that is a very dead Rakan immediately. The Event Horizon is going to provide a little bit of safety, but not that much, as Pulbay's looking for another charm. Orbit Deception, not going to be enough damage there, but DK, they're getting everything that they want around this map.
This is exactly how you want to play this comp, and KT didn't opt into the Drake fight, but they opted into being close to Bible, and Bible was like, well, that's my signal to actually go in and make a play, as Hype is now being zoned away from CS. Like, the Varus is being zoned away from CS into the Zeri. I mean, not because of the Zeri in this case, but like, this is the opposite of how this is supposed to be going for KT, unfortunately. And D+ now with Mountain Soul on the horizon into Lethality Varus, into the Jace. It is really just not KT's day here. Unfortunately, Wei is just too far out. Like, this is what I'm saying. Rakan is squishy, like, is very pickable. And Hambak is just spinning to help his team escape. And he almost goes down.
Oh, man. Ujimaru actually has, like, the perfect call here. Also has your cat's name in his name, which means that he must be awesome. But he said, now that's what I call a Bible thump.
It's a Bible thump.
And that was a Bible thump. Like, Bible thump isn't sad when you're using it in reference to Bible thumping someone with an anchor.
Yeah, it was a real thump.
Yeah, big time thump. So get those tears off your face. That ain't it. That was a big old Bible thump, but we're not even sad.
Yep. I think it's a Duckers moment. I just like to tell chat what to put in the chat, and it's gonna come, but it won't work. But it's gonna come, right? Right, chat? Right, chat? It's like not coming. Okay, there we go.
Bible thump chills. Like, I love this. It's like, oh yeah, we're crying about how good it was. You know, that must be what it is. It all makes sense. It's DK looking for the second Rift Herald as, okay, Castle throwing some shock blasts around. Bible gets himself out of there, but he's relatively low. And KT, they are set up. The Phalanx put into position. Hype is going to move back towards
Lucid is on a flank too. They have ward coverage here, so he will be spotted.
Yeah, looking for that angle. He can Vault Breaker over and then look for that cease and desist if they want to get into the backline. Castle kind of presenting himself as a target right now. The Shock Blast. This is exactly how KT want to be able to play this one out. But they will have to find an engage now. And there it is. The Grand Entrance comes forward. Decent Cyclone as Rahel is going to make it out, but now he can't be involved in this fight whatsoever. Feisty locks down Lucid. This is their team fight, and KT have come alive.
And they have a lot of burst damage when the engage comes through. We talked about how they don't have a lot of it, but this is going to be just enough. And Rahel is essentially 100 to 0. He lives, but as you mentioned, he can't actually do anything in the fight because he's super low, and it's just an instant deletion of D+. And KT back on the board now in a big way. Going to take out this mid turret as well now, and this is huge.
And that was the way. That was what they needed. That Grand Entrance, absolutely fantastic. They'll utilize their Rift Herald immediately to take down the outer turret. And KT, let's have a look at this one more time.
Yeah, like the Event Horizon setup here, you have the engage from Wei. It's so easy to then follow up with the Cyclone. And it doesn't always work this way, and I think if D+ are a little bit more aggressively positioned, then instead of trying to play for the flank, they probably shut this down, right? Or at least make it much more difficult to follow up. But they were just not in position because they were trying to set up the big flank play instead of actually looking for a straight-up 5v5 front to back. And they snap engage. Wei makes the play. Feisty's got the follow-up. And when you're in an Event Horizon and you're charmed and you're knocked up, like, it's just going to be a disaster for the AD carry, who escapes but now has no flash. And KT, if they win this next team fight here, they're really going to start being a big threat in this game. Because right now I'm like, all right, you're back on the board. Like, this is definitely a winnable game for you. But if you win this one, it's like, all right, well, now you're massively ahead.
Yeah, it was beautiful timing for KT as well. They just hit a couple of those item spikes, and when you have a Jace, and well, I mean, the Jace only had his Gore Drinker actually completed, and there wasn't actually a second item for Hype. So it actually gets better for KT for the next little while, which is a bit of a worry, to be honest, for DK, because they want to be hitting their stride with this composition, finding the Ahri and the Zeri angles. Not quite getting there just yet. Thanatos had that huge ult as well, just didn't quite work out. Yeah,
I think Lucid needs to be more ready to just like walk with his team as a phalanx and hold the back line instead of trying to flank, because KT does have great single target damage as well, and if they find him on a flank, he's just going to be forced out of the fight. And I don't think he has to play for crazy flank angles. He could just play straight up for like, let's team fight. I click on the Varus, he dies, or they have to use their Cyclone and their Event Horizon defensively, and then we win the fight. But he wants to play flank games, and like it can work, obviously, but it's very risky.
Thanatos doesn't have any Naba whatsoever. Bible going to move in here, does have Flash available. And Rahel off to the side. Poolbay's there with him. They look to engage onto Bible, and they just eliminate him.
And
goodbye.
Everybody's flanking, so you can just see a target. You're like, okay, well, these are just 5 fingers, not a fist, and I'm just going to peel them apart.
Oh, the Everfrost does come forward. There's a lot of buttons now on cooldown as Thanatos on the flank angle. They do take down Lucid, but can Rahel use this extra space to get a win? And the answer's yes. They lock down 3 immediately. I love that from DK, identifying the use of buttons they can take advantage of.
Oh, yeah, all those cooldowns are super long, and they obviously used some ultimates there, too, and then the re-engage from Thanatos is actually beautiful. So it looks doomed in this fight because you lose your support. Everybody's zoned out. Rahel and Poolbay are super far away, but they're able to chase through into this pit. And KT definitely eyes too big for their stomach here. And Thanatos, perfect engage, man. And then the Zeri follow-up is there. You end up grabbing 2 additional kills. D+ playing it very well. This game is so close, actually.
I mean, Thanatos is hitting like teamfight winning ultimates in teamfights they're not even winning.
Yeah.
Because he's like just been playing out of his mind. Also, I think as far as like Nah into Jace that we've seen, Castle has been playing very well in lane, but Thanatos has been playing equally as well defensively throughout it, as Bible gives him the old thumbs up as he doesn't manage to steal away the Rift Scuttler. As Humbug going to move back towards his jungle here.
Bible's emote game is strong.
Oh yeah.
I love this player. I feel like we're going to be casting this player for years to come.
I also love Wei as well. Actually, like as far as like the support matchup is concerned, like it's hard to do better than this. You know, I mean, Plan B, of course, would be better.
I don't know why, and this is going to sound strange maybe, but I feel like Bible, it reminds me of like if Khan was a support player. Like his swagger,
Yes.
like the way he plays, like he emotes, like his
like-
facial expressions.
He's like Lehens that has already done military service.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
No, for sure. I feel like we have so many talented players and challengers that in the next few years we're going to be seeing an LCK a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I think that like this season, I've said it so many times before, but I'm so glad that we've started casting Challenger this season because I feel like there has been like such clear progression for like so many of these players.
Absolutely.
Throughout this one, and I think that we are going to be seeing a lot more of them just with the fact that we've had the format change of utilizing Challenger players has now become so much easier, right? So in Summer Split, you never know what we're going to see, especially with some of the performances of some of our teams and
LCS 2025, yeah, it could also be. Maybe I will not be casting them in years to come, but maybe other people will be casting them in years to come. But I hope a lot of these players end up in the
Papa
LCK.
Smithy going to be guest casting them after he brings them towards his team. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
Maybe you know, we'll see what's going on in the future, but it's a very close game. Like this is one of the rare challengers games that ends up being not a complete stomp. And it's like both comps have really cool win conditions. It's going to be about how the setup happens in these team fights. Am I casting challengers or LCK right now?
I know, it's like this game is kind of awesome in so many different ways because I love the difference in archetype, right? Like KT, they want to sit back, they want to poke, and then they pull the trigger with like flash, quickness, engagement, and stuff like that. Is Castle's dead, by the way. It does actually a decent job trying to fight Thanatos there, but it's not going to work out. And now, is there going to be a cross-map play? The answer is probably not.
No, I don't think so. Hambak, I think, wanted to come down in Shadow. He has ult, so he was trying to maybe turn that around, but he's a little bit too late. So now he's on the bottom side of the map and can't do anything. And Ari is just pushing top here. We're going to see a rotation up, and they might actually try to make a play for this turret.
By the way, welcome back, Kips. I actually was wondering where you'd been, and I thought now that Gen.G aren't in the playoffs that you'd just abandon us and stop watching. But I'm really glad that you're still here, even though we're quidless for now.
It's okay. It'll be back.
Wait, Bun Bun? The alarm? What alarm? Are you okay? Cookies person? Hello? You're the cookies person, Bun Bun.
Yeah, you gave me cookies and I really enjoyed it.
I'm actually really worried. Oh, the Kips. Oh, okay. So I guess there was something that was happening. Cookies are burnt in the... Like, did you leave them in the oven or something like that? Sorry that we're not commentating the game, but I'm actually, like, really invested in
I just don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, like... Okay. Okay. Thank you, chat, for helping get the cookies out of the oven. Okay, great.
Good call. Bible is going to be fine. Looking scary for a second there, but D+ have full control over this Drake right now.
Another season assist. Oh, dear. This side lane is just getting bullied. And Lucid going to get in after the flash as well. It feels terrible here. And now the Mountain Drake. It's Mountain Soul, by the way. KT was able to pick up one of those. Not sure how I missed that, because I've been paying pure attention to the game.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that it's like really good into KT's comp, the Mountain Soul, if D+ get it. And looks right now like they're very likely to get it. They have better control over the pit right now. Hype very far away, not hitting any poke before the fight starts.
Yep, the lack of a castle as well is going to make it tough for KT. As Bullbay off on a beautiful flank, the control vision for DK absolutely fantastic here. And they do manage to lock this one down. Can they find a team fight is the question. It's the Event Horizon, it just activates. I think that Thanatos' hitbox was almost out of it as well. Could have been disaster. Flash Charm misses. DK gonna have to back off as that's a flash forward. Hype just taking matters into his own hands. Bullbay gonna be taken out. That's gonna be the first pickoff. Thanatos now in a bit of trouble as Minina. As Rahel, he's just going to ult and look for an opportunity. Humbug That is Warrior Trickster, but now look at these health bars. They're so low. The flash forward from Zeri, and oh, the max range of DK. They get the double kill for their AD carry. Rahel is popping off in this game.
He's just between two turrets and he doesn't care. And Vault Breaker not going to be used. They're going to just back away and set up for Baron here now. TP ready for a pull base, so they could just rush right over here and do this. Rahel very low on health, so probably need to back.
I haven't been more impressed by Rahel his whole career.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think our replay thing is broken. Okay. All right, so watch Thanatos in this fight too, because he actually helps peel when the re-engage comes through. Hype flashes for pull bait here, and look at Thanatos. He's like, nope, no follow-up. He's just so insanely good, man. I think without his play, KT probably get a pick and the 100%. Fight is over. And now D Plus could just continue to chase with Zeri. She ults and then flashes forward for the kill. Really well played here from Rahel. And like you said, like Rahel is usually not the guy who does stuff like this. Like he's usually not this confident, this aggressive, and I think his identity is changing here. They're drafting for him with the Zeri pick, leaving the Varus open. He laned better into the Varus than I expected he would do. Now he's got 5 kills in this game and 3 items. I think D Plus have almost an insurmountable lead at this point. If they get that Mountain Soul, I think there's no coming back.
And now Thanatos has almost 1,000 gold lead over Castle. I think like really capitalizing on Lucid being down there and getting those couple of picks. Actually really smart from both Thanatos and Lucid to identify that Jace is going to be in this side lane trying to put pressure onto the Gnar, and you can just press R on him and he will die. That is just how it's going to go. Now a 1-3-5 Jace as Lucid looking for an angle. Doesn't get way this time around. Humbuck in position there as well as Bible. I think almost missed a Hex Splash over the wall there. That was a bit odd. But that doesn't actually matter because, of course, they're not in a fight or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now he's going to roam towards the mid lane. Clear out some control vision. Bible give him more thumbs up. You love to see it. And 2.5 minutes on this Mountain Drake. Not going to be the point of focus for now on the bottom side. Baron could be a thing, though. That's like 26.5 minutes.
Yeah, it is on the cards for sure. I think if D Plus end up winning a fight there, or rather winning a fight before it, it's really easy for them to just take it instantly, but they don't have a lot of deep vision. What?
Sorry, we're not acknowledging the infinite scaling. Oh,
no.
that is true.
That is true.
Feisty has infinite
Good
scaling.
call, good call.
I don't know whether the game has infinite time in it. That's the problem. But it is true that Veigar does, if this game goes to 800 minutes, Veigar will have more AP than anybody else in the game.
Also, like, the later the game goes, the Jace becomes a crazy threat, too. And, like, right now on 2 items and a Last Whisper, it's like, well, he's kind of a threat, but he doesn't have Eclipse. And this is problematic because KT need to hit poke. They need to actually be chipping away these health bars before D Plus's engage comes through. Or threaten this Gnar somehow, who just has been such a problem, such a thorn in KT's side here. Speaking of KT, they are actually grouped on the top side of the map around this Baron, and getting some vision set up here means that D Plus need to react quickly, or this Baron may just be swept out from under them.
Could be. Thanatos has teleport available, and his Gnar is in a great spot, and they are going to start it. This is kind of scary. All right, the teleport is going to come forward. Thanatos, can he find yet another phenomenal ult to guarantee the POG? He's just going to walk in there. Gets the boomerang down, and KT are like, nope.
That's a POG play for me, dog.
That's the POG right there.
That's a
gets him
teleport
off the Baron. Oh, baby.
Walks at them, has his Gnar bar still perfectly set.
Look at how menacing he is. This Gnar, so menacing right now. 40 seconds on the Mountain Drake.
Mountain Soul going over, probably, because KT are pushed off of Baron. They all have to reset now, which means that D Plus can get additional vision. Lucid's going to see this ward and then clear it.
The problem with Thanatos, though, is that in this game, he doesn't have infinite scaling.
Yes.
So I don't know what that's going to
Always the
mean
issue.
for his ability to get lots of stacks of health. As
Should have
this
just
game
played
goes on.
Scion. Oh, wait. Banned KT with a big brain.
I know. Actually, a huge brain. But still, I think I'm probably going to vote for Thanatos despite that.
I'm ready to vote for him. All D Plus have to do is cross the finish line and kill the Nexus. No vision here for KT, by the way. So how do you hit poke if you can't see anybody?
Well, Charm is going to connect. Really nicely done. Wei, get out of there. Does have Battle Dance. A lot of ability to move. It's okay. Bit of a face check, but keeps himself hidden as he's dived over the wall. Thanatos always has his Gnar bar in the perfect position. And KT, you're going to have to try and fight for this one as Wei doesn't find it. The grand entrance kind of goes wide, and DK, they're going to be able to do exactly what they want this time around. Rahel, free hitting, Feisty trying to hit his buttons, but it's not going to work. KT just evaporate in the hands of DK. And look, the Drake gonna be ignored as it looks like base destruction time for D+.
Yep, and I think that is basically the game. I mean, there's not much else to say. It is very much D+ now in 100% complete control. The respawn timers here for KT are actually quite long. They might actually just be able to straight up end right now. They don't have a huge wave, but they're going to go for it, and that's a top vote for me, man. The angle is so good for Thanatos the entire game, and it's wild the ways in which KT still found some win conditions, but at the end of the day, D+ just played their team comp better. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and KT just kind of put it all on another way engage. They're like, oh, way engage in a dream because it worked for us last time. This time it completely backfires, and I think not only did KT have a very weak draft that was really disjointed, they didn't play to their win conditions very well. They didn't itemize the Jace for a poke. They didn't get vision early, and stuff like this, like, it's a Hail Mary play. You have the Cyclone, and then the miss here from Wei is massive, but Rahel has stopwatch, so like, you can't kill him.
Rahel actually, like, that was incredibly high value, the stopwatch. He avoided Cyclone taking the initial damage, and full health stopwatches, by the way, kind of awesome, because you come out of them and you have full health to work with, so you can use that in order to get out of everything. And man, he avoids the quickness with it because Wei couldn't actually get enough range on his grand entrance because KT had so much pressure on them. What I do want to say though is that I kind of liked KT's plan. We saw around the Herald that they played beautifully around that poke. They layered the poke in there, and then that hard engage happened when they found themselves with the advantage. Of course, Thanatos is too good at the video game, and so it didn't actually score them a victory, but I do want to say that, like, this best of 5 is just awesome, Wolf. It's just awesome. The gameplay on both sides is awesome.
And it doesn't feel like either team is really, like, messing up. Like, I feel like a lot of our best of 5s have been some of these young players choking. And I think now that we're getting to the end of playoffs, like, the winner of this goes to the finals. We're towards the end, and it means that these players have already played through a bunch of the best of 5s. Some of the jitters are gone. You're not playing as nervously. But now KT need to get a reverse sweep, and we have seen that multiple times this tournament, so it could happen, but no. We have to go back to the graph that we saw at the very beginning, Wolf, and that is that DK are trending towards winning the first 3 games and losing the next 2. But there are no next 2 if you win the first 3.
There is no next 2. And or they might win their next 2 games in solo queue or something when they go home. Or the next 2 scrims. But like, that's where we're sitting at.
Does Rahel rob Thanatos? Like, I think that's the only thing that could happen here is like if it's not Thanatos who gets POG, like Rahel robs him. Bible also played very well, so there could be some...
No, there is absolutely no way that it's not Thanatos.
I agree with you, but I'm like, is there any robbing potentially that could occur?
Ooh, I mean, Rahel did play one of his best games. So, like, if you're thinking about, like, relative to the skill level expected out of these players, honestly, like, it would be fine to give it to Rahel, but, like, if it's not Thanatos, and here he is. So, like, it is the correct POG
not robbed, Pog
but,
champ.
like, we could explain it in some way that would still make us feel sad.
Not robbed. I thought his performance was amazing. And you mentioned his Narbar was perfectly set up every single time.
If we see him playing, like, I think that if you plug and play Thanatos into the LCK, he's a top 5 top laner.
Yeah, straight up.
It's actually kind of crazy.
He probably looks better, actually, with, like, an LCK caliber team around him. Not to say that like, D+ isn't, because they kind of are LCK caliber, but...
I have had some information though, because I was talking at the beginning of the LCK season to some people on DK, and apparently like they do like scrims inside the team, and I'm pretty sure Canada's kind of okay based on what I heard about the results. But Thanatos is just getting better and better and better, and man, this game especially, like, sometimes you just have DK games like this where they just play to their win conditions in this gorgeous way. And it just looks great and feels great, you know? Like, you get your analysis out there, and you're like, this is how they should play it. And then DK's like, yes, by the way, we will perfectly execute on all of these things that you talk about. Our win conditions are thus, and therefore...
The fact that they won the game, the first game, when it looked, like, impossible to do so, and how they did all of the team fights perfectly, exactly how their comp needs to work, just, again, reminds me of, like, old Damwon. Like, I'm like, wow, this team will just be like, oh, we missed our win condition. But actually, if we do everything perfectly right, still, we still win. It's just, it's beautiful to see.
It's great to watch, but it is time for us to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll see whether KT can bring us to Silver Scrapes. Woo! Welcome back, everyone, to LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas, this is Wolf, and we're up to game number 3. And do you know what that means? That means the message comes in our group chat for the casters, and Mao says, quick 3-0? We're going to play some 5s later? And do you know what happens immediately after that? A reverse sweep or just 3 more games. In the case that it was yesterday or last time. That
Tuesday,
happened.
yeah. And like, we also just saw Caster Shim on there, and he goes to 5s. That's what he does. That's his profession. He just
3 out of 3.
He yells a lot, and games get exciting, and he yells more. I mean, that's just how it goes. So I feel like while the analyst in me, the thought right now is definitely, well, it looks like D+ just have a better read today. It looks like they're going to take the 3-0.
Yeah.
It's Challengers playoffs, so
it is, and it's been cursed by Chronicler. So you guys know, if you're D+ fans, you want to see a clean victory here. He's ruined it for you, because now KT will win the next 2 games.
He just wants revenge because he had to do so many game 5s last year on his stream. I remember that. Like, oh, we're gonna hang out with Chronicle later. He's like, it's in game 4 now. Oh, it's in game 5 now. My stream is forever.
And also, like, Chronicler wants to protect his prediction, which is a 3-2 in favor of DK, and that's what they did last time. Is they won the first 2 games, then they lost 2, then they won the last one. So that's it's just how it's supposed to be. So I guess now we know the full script. I thought that was a Team Rocket member, but it's actually not. It's a KT player. As this is very intense. What's happening here, Wolf?
Just hoping for the. It says like, yeah, we're gonna win, right? And then it's like, we're gonna reverse sweep, right? And she crosses it out.
Oh God.
Yeah. I actually missed like the top left. I was kind of like just looking at the drawing itself, so I didn't know exactly what it started off as, but actually a lot of people to watch the games today. I saw in the elevator when I came up to get makeup, like it was filled with D+ fans.
Yeah, I actually had a whole bunch in mine as well. So
there's just a lot of people coming down to watch challenges. It's finals tomorrow, of course. So
yeah,
whoever wins this is going to be playing tomorrow against DRX, and it's crazy that like we are on a 2-0 lead here right now as D+, and like the team looks super calm. Like they're just ready to do this like business like usual, and they've had such a return to form. This is the D+ we watched at the beginning of the season. Completely different style of play, but the form is the same, and it's 2020 and 2021 Damwon. I'm like, wait a minute, like they can't have that team. Like, are we sure? Like,
yeah,
really
it's crazy.
The Challengers players here.
It should not have been allowed. And I assume that now, like, DK are just going to go, like, full 2020 Damwon. It's going to be, like, Kaiser compositions, and it's going to be full dive and craziness. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to go. I
Another
actually think that
silent
Kai'Sa's
ban.
like silently, well, not silently. She's just pretty good. at
I
the
think
moment.
aiming is going to play it against Gen.G. I'm calling it.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. As there was a comment about this, are the scripts written on a weekly basis, or are they bulk written at the start of the season? And the answer is there is no script, but we have peered into the full timeline of how League of Legends
We're
is
AI
going to
casters
shape.
from the future.
Yeah. So we know already. It's not a script, it's the truth. We try to make it interesting. We try to commentate as if we don't know, but we just know everything that's going to happen for the next 35 years, approximately.
So both Ashe and Viego are banned, and the Sejuani is prioritized this highly. I find that a little bit bizarre. They're not going to pick up the Varus early this time, but the Sejuani and Varus do have a little bit of synergy together. They're not going to be playing Varus. It's going to be the Caitlyn lane. And Hype is going to just try to Caitlyn Lux his way to beating the Zaryan lane because the Varus did not work out. Obviously, they had a Rakan, so a little bit less power in the lane there, but...
Malphite?
Yeah, you left this one open, so...
Okay.
Could be problematic. And they're also going to instantly ban the Gwen.
Also, Bible is now going to play something weird. Something weird is now happening because I assume
Nautilus
that things
banned.
like Nautilus, things like the Leona are probably going to be banned.
Yep.
Of course, you want to use these hard engaged champions not because it does well in lane against Caitlyn Lux, but if you find an all-in, you can get yourself that avenue to success.
It gives Elusive a lot of power when you have a Nautilus in a lane like this because you can come over and protect against the lane pressure and maybe even get an additional kill. And it's just really good versus dive. It's Sejuani, you know, so it's not the most divey, but you just want to take that one away. And they have. And I think Leona is the next logical step. We'll see what else Bible has. Oh, actually going to ban the Ahri, which I think is wise considering how well it was played last game. It is a Vicomp still.
Yep. I think Pulbe might go towards Vigo here.
I think he certainly
with the
can.
ban.
And it's very safe. Now, they will pick the Leona, obviously, because it wasn't banned.
Okay, just counterpick for DK's mid laner. An interesting choice here.
Yeah, now KT may just pick the Veigar. Oh, the Rise is open for Feisty, too. This is usually banned away from him, so he's going to have the opportunity to play it, and that is going to be lane prio against basically anything that's meta right now.
Yeah, taking a bit of a leaf out of Setab's book there by thinking about it at least. 4 seconds, and it will be locked in. So here we go. That could be top lane. Of course, we have seen that you can just prevent Malphite from being able to build infinite armor by not playing anything that needs armor.
Yeah, they could like play Rise top and pick Tristana here or something. I wouldn't even hate it. Not going to be Renekton, though. Now, this also could be Renekton mid.
Yeah, flex.
So let's see what D+ are going to play, because that's going to determine this. Jace is still available, but I think that you want a little bit more magic damage here as D+, and it's going to be the Lissandra. So it's going to be Rise into Lissandra, Renekton into the Malphite on the top side. There's going to be some power in these lanes. There's a lot of prio here for KT across all three, and I think that's really going to be the main win condition here, is just getting advantages early and holding on to them and setting up for early objective takes.
It's actually really cute. We can see that currently we had Castle holding the Rise. Of course, if it's Rise into Malphite, you're feeling really good. Renekton into Malphite when you have Sejuani also feels fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
To be honest, but I think that the Malphite's still going to do absolutely okay. Into Castle's Renekton here. But the bottom lane, I think, could be a big old problem. Hype and Wei could find themselves in a phenomenal position this time around.
Indeed. I think that KT have the better lane setup here. In terms of team fights, there's so many threats for this Caitlyn that it becomes very hard. At least they have 2 real carries here in the Rise and the Caitlyn, so if you kill one, the other can still pop off in the fight. And because of this, long-term damage-wise, like, Yuzari once again is going to be your win condition. Rahel has to pop off. I didn't trust before this best of 5 that he would be able to do that, but after watching Game 2, I definitely do.
Yeah, and also this is another one of those compositions where if DK find the team fights that they're looking for, like, it could just look like it's impossible for KT.
Yeah.
I think so much of this comes down to where KT can find their advantages and find skirmishes to get themselves a win condition on this map relatively early on, and to put behind one of the puzzle pieces to DK's team fight. Because if you can do that, if you can get someone on a flank and then destroy them immediately, that's your avenue for success. You can utilize things like Rise in order to capitalize further afterwards. So very, very cool. KT, is it going to be the reverse sweep angle? I'm not entirely sure yet. We can't tell anything really from the draft.
Yeah, it's really just going to be about execution, as it often is in Challengers. I give a slight edge to KT's draft here, but if you mess up even once, if you fall behind, D+'s draft becomes so easy to pilot later on.
Well, it's time to get the do's and the do's and the do's and the do's into the chat.
Perfect.
Oh, we're killing it.
Even the PD getting in on
Yeah,
that.
Petey getting in on it. Managed to get all the do's out in time. Love to see it. Absolutely beautifully timed. Everything's fantastic.
We have a amazing team here at WDG. You know, they take care of us. You know, they make sure we have a great meal, sometimes 2 meals.
Yeah.
Almost 3 best of 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're in on all of the jokes. Yundo is observing and listening to us as well, so sometimes we can actually influence the observing, which is very rare on a Korean show.
Yeah, we get the information as well
Yeah.
if we need it, and it's provided in Twitch chat as well,
And
so you
yeah.
guys get the information too.
Chat is also a part of the show, in my opinion. I think they're
Absolutely.
working on the show with us.
They
and
casted a team fight here in Challenger. That happened.
it's great.
It was beautiful. I loved it. Everything about it was just the best. As 8-5 for Rahel's Zeri. Actually pretty cool. 2-0 on the Malphite here for Thanatos. Still, I believe, the highest win rate champion on this patch in solo queue at the minute. That's why so many people are picking up the Malphite these days.
Yeah, I should probably just go get some free low.
I ban it every game.
Yeah, I guess I can't play it in 5s because Alex is going to ban it from me.
Well, if you want to play it, I mean, I'll let you play it. Like, you just, we
Then the enemy
can
team is first
communicate.
pick and they lock it in and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Free loss.
Just shake my head. Unpaid chat is being exploited for casting labor. Oh no! Oh.
Yeah, well, luckily, chat is not in the, what's the Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not-
the union.
Chat's
We don't
not
actually
part
have
of
a
SAG.
casting union yet, so I guess, like, do we have a chatting union? Does Twitch chat have a? Do you
They're
guys have
about
a
to.
union?
They're about to now. You started this.
Yeah, we need to unionize. I think that's what it is. I think chat needs to get together and realize that they deserve better. Apart from Fast Turtles, because he's already better.
Yeah, Fast Turtle is just ahead of the game.
Yeah.
The thing about Fast Turtle, I love his name, man. He's just already ready to contradict life.
I know.
He's like, I'm going against the grain. I'm a turtle, but I'm fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And 23, which is a great number.
I want to be Slow Hair. That's what I want to change my name to. I'm ready. Humbug did try and get some information here as Lucid's going to come on over and stand on a ward. Now Humbug is probably going to dissuade him from getting anything done here, as that is a flash immediately.
He
from
has
Lucid.
Hex Flash at least, so it's not terrible, but it's kind of terrible that he
Oh,
has that.
Thanatos could just be dying, as Castle, now level 3, feeling fantastic.
He's landing really well, and you know the Malphite can do pretty well into Renekton in isolation, even without when the Sejuani isn't helping. But in the early levels, if you trade aggressively and use your bar correctly and proc Conqueror,
Feisty pretty good at this jump.
yeah, this pick is like almost perma-banned against him, just like his Syndra oftentimes, and not in this series, the Syndra, and after what happened in the DRX series, I can understand why he's not playing it anymore, but Castle is just, I mean, he's got Demolish. Is he dead? No, he's fine. Thought maybe we were going to see a flash.
6, he might have just been dead, but not to be the case. And with that much fury, you're a little bit scared about Flash. But he's got the teleport advantage, so absolutely fine for the Renekton.
Yeah. And like you're saying, the matchup doesn't always go this well for the Renekton. He's playing it so incredible. He has a Doran's Blade, of course, and that's going to really help him continue to push the issue with his Conqueror. And now he has to TP back to lane. That's okay. Got some damage done to the first plate, and we'll probably get a plate when he pushes this next wave up to it before Thanatos has 6.
Yeah, and of course, Thanatos just wants to bide his time. He will be more valuable later in the game, but it's about how much Castle can get before that, because that is triple priority here for KT in this early game, and playing around that is going to be the priority. So, priority. Saying that word a little bit too many
Triple
times.
prio in lanes, though. You know, it's
quadra prio in the commentary.
Exactly. This is what we were talking about in KT's draft from the beginning. It's like they have so much early game control, and sometimes that's all you need in League of Legends because it empowers your jungler. It allows you to do stuff like this, just hover this lane.
Yeah, that's first blood. That's going to go over to Wei here on this bottom side, and a little bit overly aggressive, and you can just see Humbug hovering and getting that value.
He's just willing to do this, and you know that Lucid doesn't have flash, so he has to hex flash if he's going to engage, so it's very difficult. And there's that play that I was talking about. As soon as he comes up right before 6, this is what you do with Renekton. And Castle is just going to be like, thank you for the gold, and suddenly, just from one kill and lane prio, it's a 1.5 thousand gold lead here. And this is the engage angle onto the
oh no,
the Lux, who's very far forward, but don't have enough follow-up here. If Lucid had flash, maybe.
And Lucid just immediately got out of there. He's like, oh, nope, 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 nope. As Feisty, looking a bit feisty, actually. Had the support of his jungler coming down. Lucid with a slight CS advantage.
Atlas with a slight hiccup.
Yep, slight hiccup advantage for Atlas here. There was also an amazing comment in chat, which is why I was a bit distracted when that first blood was coming in, because Live Laugh Lowry is like, Atlas is now slow hair, a reference to the consequences of shaving his head this time last year.
Well, his hair comes back really fast. Thanatos 6.
This is what we were talking about, is the level 6.
Wait!
Castle could turn it.
No
has
mana?
the Dominus, who has the buttons. There's the flash. The flash immediately afterwards is in goes Lucid, and will be able to lock down first blood for the Malphite, but man, that was close.
That was actually insanely close. I think Castle played that so well and kind of baited Thanatos. Thanatos had super low mana. I think he probably still barely gets the kill even without Lucid's help, but was very close. And with Conqueror proccing, you know, there was a world where if a few autos were canceled for Thanatos, Castle actually gets the kill. We're going to go instantly right back into this.
Did I say first blood also? Because my brain
I don't know if you did, but maybe you did.
Second blood.
Second blood.
That's what I meant.
First blood for D+. And yeah, double flash here, really well played. The dodge from Castle as well is sick, but not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, incredible stuff. So, 1 for 1 as far as those kills are concerned, but Humbug going to be able to start off this Drake. And you can see the money well and truly in favor of KT, because they have controlled this bottom lane so extraordinarily hard. And Hype and Wei, they are the win conditions, right? I think that, like, you're going to have to kill Castle a few more times before you're feeling comfortable as D+.
And I mean, the objective setup here, the objective setup here for KT is really good in this early game. Like, obviously they're going to get this first Drake because they have Prio, but the subsequent Drakes, even if they're a little bit out of position, they have Roamorph, you know, they have Lux, so they can engage from so far away. As they're just going to look to potentially set up a dive here. I do not advise it against the Leona.
True, but with 4 people, you maybe could just kill everyone. But Poolbay was rotating down, so KT not going to look for that one. That I agree with. If there's a Lissandra there, definitely things are going to be not so good.
Yeah, I think they're wise to think better of it. Just take the advantages they have and continue to try to push them further. Thanatos about to have his ult back, and Castle is going to respect it.
That is a flash cease and desist. All right, well, they're looking for it. Wei going to find himself a Q, but it's not going to stop it as Rahel is going to pick up his first kill. Now Wei with no... Oh, he does have flash still available. And so he should be all right as D+ get themselves some prio finally.
And that's the kind of thing that you didn't have last time. Like, Lucid didn't have flash because he used it to escape. And this time he does, and here we go again.
Oh dear. Does have Bramble Vest and the Balmy Cinder completed. So Thanatos is just chilling at this point in time.
All he has to do is walk away, and they're going to turn this into a Herald, though. So unfortunately for Thanatos, he is going to be the loser of this at the end of the day.
Did ult, I believe off screen.
Yeah.
And so that's how this all sort of occurred.
Yeah, that's our observers saw it on the mini-map and then jumped over there, and then it was Castle matching the ultimate, and then he walked away. Herald does go over. And this is what I was talking about on the top side. Like, Castle knew the ult was coming back up, so was playing really respectively and defensively. We weren't watching it because we were watching what happened bottom side, which was the flash ult from Lucid. Hype's going to hold this wave over here, which is really annoying for Rahel. It's so risky for him to come over here. Lucid is trying to get some information about whether Hambak is here or not, because he's like, okay, they're holding the wave under turret. I need to come over here to make sure that my Zeri can farm. Poolbay's coming down. They're actually maybe going to set up a dive here. Lucid's ult is not back up yet, but it will be soon.
Yeah, Bible doesn't have Solar Flare just yet either.
Yeah, I think this is probably not the timing. They were thinking about it, but they're like, oh, we can't do this yet.
Yeah, not quite. So, some chickens going to be consumed by the Sejuani. Now, Humbug considering a Rift Herald drop here in this mid lane. They are very long way away from this second dragon. going to be the Hex deck variety as well. We'll see exactly what our Soul is going to be after this. Not going to be a Cloud Soul. Very upset about that personally, but I imagine a lot of people aren't.
I'm
Could
feeling
be
it's going to be
could
Infernal.
Mountain.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Infernal. If it's Mountain, it's like Malphite's. Yeah.
If it's Chemtech though,
Everyone's going to be like, I don't care.
yeah, aggressively not caring about dragons. That's what we're all about. As Castle picks up the whole wave, we'll be able to vacate. As they put down the Rift Herald on this bottom side, they should be able to guarantee this turret. And with so many people down here, they will be able to get it. So there we go, KT. First brick. And the advantage continuing to go forward. That is a decently high value cleanse there from Rahel. As Solar Flare stops the wall. That wall not going anywhere. And now Wei is going to be ulted on. And Lucid still just looking for more. They knew that Wei was dead. And so Wei does nothing to move away. Makes sure that the rest of his team can get out.
Yeah, Wei did flash, unfortunately, but still doing his job, doing his job the best way he can to try to save his team there. And
his bob,
his
best job,
yeah,
doing a great
job.
Yeah, job.
His job.
Yeah, he biobbed quite well, I would say.
And there are some ways that D+ can come back in this game because they are ahead in kills. Zeri has 2 kills, which is really important because she's picked up all of the money from these exchanges. As Rahel's cleanse here is beautiful. He's just having a great series. And they have the follow-up here because Lucid is in range of Wei, who's kind of trolled by the husk of the turret. Can't get out. And that's another kill for Rahel. So yeah, you're down on gold because of the prio, because of the turret going down. Plates for a Renekton, but it's a Renekton, right? And the threats for hype are still there, and they are going to be very difficult to deal with in team fights. So D+, if they equalize Drakes here and make it a 1-1 Drake game, they're feeling really good about their chances of coming back later on.
Oh, they really are. Bible also in position here to look for KT. Thanatos moving in, Lucid over the wall. And Bullbait not going to get in range of that Frozen Tomb. Castle, though, does have Demolish and also has some free time with this inner turret. And Wei's also going to be able to zone them out from this outer and mid as well. So DK kind of out of position here. And Castle's just continuing to take everything away.
They're trying to use the lane swap to get Zeri some extra gold top and maybe get her some plates. And Castle just realizes this so quickly and pushes extremely hard. And then now they have Cryo for Drake. So KT really just out macroing. And yeah, you're going to get some plates to Zeri here. That's your prize, but it is, unfortunately, not as valuable as what D+ are going to lose here in the second Drake. We'll find out what Soul it is, because that may also be, not that important, too. But
true.
Rahel is at least getting money, and that's going to be their big win condition, as we've discussed. And what will it be? What's it going to be? And it is Infernal. I was right.
Oh, there we
I was
go.
feeling it.
He
Sometimes
felt
you
the
just
fire
know.
in his waters.
After
I like
you've
it.
cast enough Korean League of Legends, sometimes you could just know what Drake it's going to be.
You can feel the
super
dragon.
strange. Nobody knows more than you. I'm still catching up to your Drake awareness, but...
No, the waters are starting to get there, Wolf, and I appreciate it. He knew. And we haven't had one Chemtech Drake today? Kind of nutty. I assume, Orcs is actually just, kind of complaining about solo queue right now instead of watching, and that might be a good thing. As Feisty gonna get ulted on here on this top side. That is a lot of CC. I think Poolbase still had Circle of Frost, by the way, so he was gonna not move for about 15 seconds. And Solar Flare going to come forward. He nails that one. Unstoppable force, and Hype was here 1 second and gone the next. That's another kill to Rahel. Killing spree for the Zeri. And DK just come alive. Lucid's gonna find yet another one, and look at all this CC. It just, as soon as one thing lands, they just kill everyone. Bible's gonna get another POG. What's this?
I know, dude. It's crazy how good this guy is on these engaged supports. The first one, of course, we ever saw him play was the Amumu, which is extremely well-suited for his playstyle. At the time, we were like, oh, Amumu, that's kind of unusual, but it is good, right? He's playing very well on it. Now we get to see him play all of these champions at the highest level here. And on the top side, it is going to be a pick. And then they turn this into a beautiful engage. Santos is nearby, and the positioning here of Hype is a little bit sus.
Yeah, he actually netted forward to try and get some more damage down, and so that didn't quite work out. Also, Glacial Prison going to Narnia is not where it really should be, despite Narnia sometimes being relatively cold. It wasn't really good there.
the ways in which D+ are going to team fight, we kind of just got a preview of right there, where it's like, oh, hype doesn't exist, and the fight is won. And if Ryze isn't there or is dead, it's very difficult to win these. Like if you put everything onto the Caitlyn and then Feisty pops off, like we're saying, there's a double threat in this comp, but when he is dead, it is really easy to just be like, all right, we're going in, we're doing it. And Bible helps set up additional kills, and now D+ back in the driver's seat here in a big way. Don't have any Drakes, unfortunately, so that's a little bit of a problem, but it can become a good problem over time if this game goes later with this area and then you start to stack up multiple Infernals.
Yeah, if they start getting Drakes now, you're feeling very, very good about the situation. And I think it was about 2 Drakes and a couple of Heralds. That was what DK are allowed to give up while they're trying not to fall behind. And now they're ahead. With this composition that you find a target, you just kill them. And the laning phase, it's done. Like, they've got through the difficult part of this game. And we'll see whether KT has anything left in the tank, because right now it just feels like DK are in too much control. They have so much confidence as well. Like, where was this team? They have just come alive again.
It just makes you wonder, like you're saying, where was this team? It makes you wonder why they were slumping so hard. Because the meta hasn't really changed either. They're just coming back to form here. Like, there was a period where the meta changed drastically and they struggled, but maybe they've just gotten a better grasp on it now. They're more comfortable with Bible. The shot calling is there.
Oh, well, Thanatos is just going to look behind. He does find him yet again. Solar Flare comes down, doesn't get the stun though. It's Rahel. Now going to ult as Castle is being huge in that front line. And look at this, the Zeri. He's untouched. Cease and desist comes down. They just go one target to the next target. It's a double kill for Pulbe. And now Hype is just running away, trying to escape from the claw of doom.
Yeah, Pulbe will not catch him. He does have flash, but he's still a little bit too far away.
Angry B got sad.
Angry B got sad, and Pulbe is looking for another angle here now.
Yeah.
They're just going to get this turret. And unfortunately, there's nothing KT can do about this.
Well, there is the Circle of Frost after the claw, finds the Everfrost as well as Wei, down to 50%, but they don't have a lot of damage here. Rahel was distracted trying to kill this turret, and will be able to take it down with the last remaining minion.
Because if you don't engage there, they probably can't quite get the last part of that turret, because KT can defend it, so pushing them back allows Rahel to get the turret. And Thanatos here is just like completely unseen. They have a control ward, and you can't be this far up if you don't have vision, or you're going to get punished, and Hype will live. And a lot of resources are used on the Caitlyn, right? But Rahel is still a fed Zeri. So this Renekton doesn't last very long at all. Is instantly ulted. Pulbe helps secure the kill here on the Hambach as well. And
Bible's just spamming thumbs up the whole time.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He's a thumbs up guy.
He is definitely a thumbs up guy. As we can see, the gold KT have slight advantages, top and support, but otherwise DK getting all of the money exactly where they want it. 3-0 for Zeri, 2-0 on Lissandra, 2-0-5 on Lucid, having a fantastic game on this Vi. Lucid, of course, like needs no introduction, right? Like he is the player that we've been talking about the most as far as being phenomenal here in Challenger, but it's really great to see him playing to his potential.
Yeah.
Which he kind of wasn't a few matches ago, and we saw it come back.
Yeah, same with Pulbe. Like he was kind of a little bit absent for a while when it moved away from...
He was busy flanking.
He was flanking forever. But when we got out of the Akali meta, it seemed like it was like, this is just not for me. Like it seemed like he needed a little bit of time to get back into the feel of things, right? And playing a lot of Ahri now, we're seeing a lot of Lissandra. This is more of his play style. So I'm very happy for D+ that they're playing to their potential at the last moment here, and the only loser really is Luffy, who's been replaced as Rahel.
Oh dear.
Okay. He's
that
Zeri.
was not it. As Rahel is going to very comfortably escape. He would have been able to cleanse the Glacial Prison if it was remotely close to hitting.
Yeah, like, he should not have been out that far, but he is Zeri, and he's like, no, I have cleanse, I'll probably be okay. And he was, actually, and is completely untouched, and he's like, what's up, I'm out of here.
They did get a Jet Set Radio future cooldown.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Everyone in chat should start saying Riot, and there's just nothing else to say about this one.
Yeah, that was definitely a Riot situation. Absolutely nothing to do with the Sejuani situation that was happening.
Nope, it's good old Rito.
Oh, Ochimaru back at it again. Hambach went ham but got nothing back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was a good one. That was a pretty good one.
Chat's got jokes.
These Challenger teams got smoked by current Nongshim LCK roster. No, they didn't. Nongshim winning Challenger was kind of like DRX winning Worlds. That's kind of the situation that happened.
Yeah, I mean
It was a beautiful run, but it wasn't the expected.
Yeah, okay, Lucid's got a potential angle here. They're not going to hard commit because Thanatos isn't here, but Thanatos has flash and ult. I worry. This is like the Caitlyn power trough moment, which has been less of a thing in recent times, but it's a really big thing in this game where there's so many threats, and she has mobility with the Gale Force and her net, obviously, but that's so minor. And you're gonna get ulted.
With the
you're
fact
gonna
that
die.
you can now build the Infinity Edge second, like that does definitely help. But oh, you're absolutely right.
At this
Like,
moment in time,
just
before she
feels like
has it,
OG
Yeah.
Caitlyn trough situation.
And because Thanatos has so much money, like he's just so difficult to kill. So he can't really be punished if his ult misses. Like if Hype does have flash, which he doesn't right now, and is able to like flash away, maybe he doesn't then like turn around, and start shooting them out. He like flashes, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, I'm out of here." By the way, I'm running. Oh, pull base not flanking.
But do you know what? Pull base flanking.
I know,
We
that's,
know that he's flanking.
that's the problem for Hype, man. He's
Yeah.
always flanking. You just gotta
Oh,
watch out.
He's on the map. Currently not flanking. Okay. But Lucid is. Lucid in position right now. It looks
Right now, it's like
Baron
Lucid
on
is
their
always
mind.
flanking.
Humbuck. Ooh. Not going to be able to get him out of there. As Lucid just wanders his way through. 2.5 minutes on the Drake, so the Baron is where people's minds are at right now. As Bullbait is going to circle across Castle here for a moment. Gets the Everfrost value there as well, which is quite nice. But with the Merc Treads, Castle is just able to walk it off quite nicely. Now Lucid going to move on down. And he has
You're never safe.
Crocodile on his mind. There's a cease and desist as in goes Rahel. And looks for yet another one. Oh dear, Castle kind of turning into a handbag here,
Extendo?
but he does manage to slice his way over. There is the Vault Breaker,
Oh.
and it's not going to be enough. So Castle will be able to get out, does have to use his flash and the Dominus.
I guess Rahel used his Extendo Beam early in the fight there, so
Yeah.
did not have it for the chase. Would have been cool if we got to see the snipe. I was really hoping for it.
I like that Rahel held flash there, just because there is going to be a fight coming up for this second Infernal Drake, and so yeah, you'd probably want to have that, so
Yeah,
you can
it is-
avoid getting flashed on yourself.
It is very good that the Renekton doesn't have flash, because that's one of your best ways to lock down this Zeri. He has to close the gap somehow otherwise here. Is D+.
There is like the Baron does kind of like exist and stuff, you know?
Yeah, D+ think they were trying to set up a trap, but they're actually already here.
Yeah, well, in goes Lucid. He's going to be able to steal the
Steal?
Baron.
What?
So that's just a little bit of a setup
Pull base
there.
in?
Pull bait dives on forward. Here's the Wombo combo, and Rahel, yep, he's still at full health. This might be a pentakill. There's Humbuck. He's going to try and help lock Pull bait down. He does do that. That is going to be the
more.
triple here. And yeah, Feisty, he'll go down. That's Lucid gathering his. That's going to be the ace, and that could just be the game.
I mean, they have Baron. They're actually going to potentially at least get this inhibitor.
Oh, no.
There's a wave here, so they can push this really hard and get value elsewhere. Unfortunately, no Penta.
This is like one of those sad things though, Wolf, right? Like the desperation on KT, the fact that Lucid gets into that pit and KT just panicked, man.
It's like the frustrating thing about this is D+ messed up, and they were trying to set up a trap on the control ward at the River Brush, and they were like, oh, they're going to try to go do a Hail Mary Baron play. KT's already there. They realized it last possible second, and if KT had just been more diligent with their vision and been slow and safe and don't make this a flip, like there's a ward here, so you know that he could come in. And this is just a huge miss, way too early.
Yeah, down to 300 there as they were trying to coordinate it first together, and it did not quite work.
And also, unfortunately for KT, like if they scout this, which they did, they're going to be able to win this team fight probably every time because you're all in a Baron pit. So that's where Malphite and the Lissandra love to fight you and engage on you and trap you and catch you out. So it was a desperation play, but it feels bad that the series is probably going to end now because of this play failing. And
Yeah.
if you get the Baron, you probably still lose the team fight. You still lose everybody, but at least you get the Baron money, and maybe someone survives with Baron buff, and you actually get to do something on the map. But now it's like D+ get all the kill gold, and the Baron gold, and the Baron buff to push these minions across. They weren't able to get the inhibitor, actually, with those respawn timers being so low at this point, but they have so much map control.
Now what are we going to predict for the final, man? With like DK picking at like grabbing a 3-0 against KT, a team that were able to beat them last time around. Like, how much of a level up has happened? Is DRX going to be enough to stand up to this team?
It's going to be an exciting finals for sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was necessarily going to be because DRX seems so much better than everybody, but now with the resurgence.
Yeah,
and
and
Bible.
they've also like had to get some reverse sweeps, right? Like it hasn't been like the DRX of old throughout, you know, the second round robin, for example, in the regular season, like just clapping everyone. This has been like the most effort put in possible to win these games, and DK just comes through and just slaughters KT in this game and this whole series.
Yeah, it's game one was really the closest one, and KT probably should have won that game. And maybe that mental break that happens when you ended up losing to the comp that like really falls off, and then Gwen isn't getting value, you messed up certain of your macro plays, like you didn't push the turrets. Maybe going into game two, you're like a little bit shaky there, and then his third game, even with all of the lane prio and all the advantages they picked up early, like the Renekton getting plate gold, the push they had in bottom lane, is not able to cross the finish line here. And there's just the threat of the Malphite, which is something they decided not to ban because they wanted to ban the Scion, which was problematic for them in game one, comes through and can just shut down Hype at every turn. And he's been way too far forward too many times, honestly.
Yeah, no, he really has. Pulbay as well, he's got a Magize. That's when you know that the game is verging on over territory. Quick Blade's also done for Rahel. He's got 3 items in comparison to Hype with his weird electric triangle on top of his first couple of items. It is just not going to be enough here for KT. And this is actually something that DK as an org know a lot about, which is the problems with Caitlyn compositions. And that is you have to keep snowballing. And you mentioned it, right? Like KT, they did do like the first step really, really well. Like the amount of control of lanes that they had, Humbug shadowing all the time to make sure that Lucid wasn't able to find those early advantages. But it doesn't matter. Like as soon as you drop the ball once with a Caitlyn composition, the House of Cards kind of just collapses. And then this happens, where the game looks just the most doomed.
It is super doomed. Also now QSS for Rahel. Means that good luck killing him with the somewhat puny engage they have now.
Oh, God.
He has cleanse and then cleanse again.
Oh, no.
That's what I like to call QSS.
Yep, the double cleanse. What does it mean? Will we get a Mikhail's as well? I mean, just all of the cleansing options.
You know what? Hold on. I do need to ask, though, Fast Turtle 23 if he thinks this game is winnable for KT. Because last time we thought KT had they were 100% going to win no matter what. They did lose game one. And I think this situation for D+ is an even harder lead. But I do want to kind of get his permission before we call the series.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Fast Turtle, if you could just let us know. I know you are here.
He's probably typing a longer thing because he likes to give his thoughts, not long.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I hope he's. Take your time.
Yeah, we got the.
As long as you put it in before the game ends.
Yeah. That's perfect. We'll get back to you as soon as something does come down. I do have alerts set to Fast Turtle in my brain. If there's ever a comment, I will not miss it. So hopefully we do hear from him. DK just like kind of, yeah, it's a dot and I's crossing T's type scenario as we just prepare to send them to the final tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's a series that has, okay, hold on. TP in the middle of everything.
Solar Flare is going to connect. That is going to be Wei. Not exactly the primary target. Is Hype down to 50%, but Castle is just getting obliterated in the backline, and that should be enough. Unstoppable Force comes down. Any target is a good target here for D+, now that they have the man advantages. Feisty tries to get something done, but it's a double kill for Lucid in the end. A double kill as well for Rahel. And only one man is left standing. It's Wei, because he wasn't the priority, and now the game is going to end. D+ Kia, the cleanest best of 5 that we've had so far in Challenger, and it's against a team that just 3-1 them.
Yep, and that is going to be that. Turn it around in a big way. D+ popping off.
Absolutely incredible. I need to get in my vote for POG, and I don't even know who to give it to.
For me, it's like support or top, but also mid is viable, but also like...
Also
wait, jungle is viable? Like,
yeah, like maybe I'm just jungling. I think it's Lucid, because he's like super good in general.
Like KT, they have really put together a roster this season that was fantastic, and they were, I think, on average, the most consistent team in LCK Challengers this season. And to go out to the team that they beat, the team they pushed into losers here, it just feels so painful to lose a series like this. And also the way they were getting caught in the third game, their heads just felt like weren't in it. Excuse me. And like, it is the most one-sided series of challengers. Even caster Shim is like, I'm supposed to go to 5s. That's what I do. And
he's
like,
actually he's preparing for game 4, like right now. Like he hasn't actually accepted it. It's just not a thing.
it's just it's like the least
man.
likely scenario is that D+ takes a 3-0 in this series. Only Chronicler predicted them, and he thought it was going to be a 3-2 for D+. This
I
is
was
just an
tempted to go
unexpected
like
result.
something even more outrageous for KT, and then went KT 3-2 in the end. So this is
It's a huge
crazy.
upset, I'd say.
I mean, it's a huge upset, but also it's not, right? It's DK actually performing to the level that we know this team can perform to, right? And in a best of 5 as well. Like seeing this, like remember, like this is the team that lost in so many of these clutch moments. They're the reason Nongshim won Challenger at the end of last year, and it's because they weren't able to have these type of performances every single time. And this was just 3 in a row of absolutely gorgeous League of Legends. And I'm predicting that they lose game 1 and then win 3 in a row tomorrow. Because then the graph looks
It just
so
continues.
good.
Yeah. I really gotta say I feel sad for the KT roster players because they were not able to show up tonight in the way that they have most of the season. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough way to go out, but I think there's been a lot of growth in this team. I think they've learned a lot, and they're one of the teams I'm most looking forward to watching actually in summer season. But you know, they're out now. Like 2 teams going out unceremoniously like this, Hanwha Life and KT, 2 teams that could have been big dark horses to actually take the whole tournament, and didn't work out that way.
Nope.
You know, we got to be good on the day, and they were not, unfortunately, not as good as D+.
Well, Fast Turtle has said that he's not going to watch the Challenger finalists tomorrow, but for Gen.G versus KT, he predicts a 3-1 for KT if BDD picks Viger in the first game. So make sure you bear that in mind, everyone. That's free coaching from Fast Turtle 23 here in the Challenger chat.
So 3-1 for KT if BDD gets Vagar in game 1.
Yes. That's
I
how
kind of
it
like
goes.
feel like that too. Actually, I'm like that's kind of like my take as well.
I'm kind of. It checks out. It definitely does check out. So we're all going to note this down. Make sure you guys screen cap it so you can guarantee that it is the true Fast Turtle facts that you are collecting here from the Challenger
I
broadcast.
actually have like a few screenshots of the wisdom that Fast Turtle has given us today.
Yeah. That's going to be worth a lot, actually, especially if you get it framed.
Let me see if I, as a mod, can make him a VIP. I don't think I can, but I'm gonna
Screenshot
try.
so you can crucify me later. No, Fast Turtle. We would never do that. We would never do that. Wow. Curison, like, so Chronicle, I don't know whether you necessarily need to ban him, because, like, it's just a weird thing to say.
It says I don't have permission to perform that action to give him VIP. Sad.
Yeah, no, we're not. We can't actually do anything. We have like 0 agency.
Oh,
Thanatos is going to collect it. Rock do what Rock want do.
I think I voted for Thanatos, but actually after I did, I regretted it. And I was like, I think Lucid was actually slightly better. But Thanatos will pick it up at the end of the day. There were a lot of engages happening all the time. Like, you could pick your favorite. Also, Rahel following up extremely well. Bible.
I think actually all 5 players played an extraordinary game 3. Like, I think that honestly, like, there should have been votes just scattered around. Like, I don't think it matters. Like, some of the solar flares from Bible, even though there was one that like tried to stun a wall that like is impossible. Also, the wall not that threatening.
Also, keeping his CC score at 665 and not 666,
Oh,
which
yeah,
scares
that's
people.
true. Yeah, it doesn't want to go above the devil's number, and I appreciate that as well. I think that's good for the vibe of Challenger in general. You can't get that level of satanic, you know. I just don't think you can. So really nicely done there by Thanatos.
Wow, I did not. Of all the things I thought could happen today, 3-0 was not on the cards for either team. I was like, there's absolutely no way. And here we are. I'm still just kind of in shock.
Yeah, me too.
It's like we didn't get a series today.
Well, we sort of didn't, but we also did. Like, there were a lot of things that KT did that were actually really good, but unfortunately, I think that the way I see it, in Challenger, if you have all of the teams playing only purely at their best possible, D+ wins every single game.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's no variance.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think it's such a scary thing to do, but I kind of want to pred them for finals. Like,
I'm going to, 100%. After this. No chance I'm not predicting D+ for
Yeah,
for the
it's
next series.
it's just like some of the play we saw from them today is like the cleanest League of Legends we've seen in Challengers. It feels
And
like
it's so funny because it's a bookend as well, because that's what we saw in their very first game of Challenger this year. Was probably one of the greatest games in Challenger.
Yeah.
So far.
I think KT's best game was game 2. Like they looked the best in game 2. They unfortunately fell behind and weren't able to win it. But
I think game 1 as well. Like I liked their draft response to the slightly cheesy T1-esque draft that DK went for. The play towards the end of the game wasn't great, but I think the game plan at the beginning was fantastic. But I think losing that game threw them off a lot because they were like, we thought we had the answer. Why are we 0-1?
Yeah.
And then that can creep into the back of your mind and be a bit of a problem here. So unfortunate for KT that they weren't able to bounce back.
Yeah, it does feel like that got into their head a little bit.
Mm.
But that we obviously gonna have our little Challengers Corner thing that I don't know.
The
exactly.
C4?
Yeah. What does it stand
We're
for?
going to blow it up. The Challenger, the chat casters community corner,
Okay.
something like that. It's in some order like that. I think Chronicler knows, but I don't know whether he's still watching.
We do a little bit of that, but
It is the Quad C or the C4.
yeah, it's explosive.
It is. It is.
That
It's
joke has
high
probably been made
octane.
before.
Yeah. We can
Casters chat community.
danger.
center
You can lose a
corner.
hand. See, and you get it back again, but you can. So it's very dangerous. That's why you don't play with C4.
Oh my God, it's pulling me in.
Yeah.
Ah, Atlas!
Yeah. Tasteless.
Tasteless!
That is actually a memory of my first time in Korea about 6 years ago, and
Wow,
Nick.
it's been 6 years.
Yeah, Nick took me out, and I had no idea what was happening, and I would just scream tasteless at the top of my lungs whenever I got confused or scared. That's actually a fact.
Yeah.
And now I
It's
kind of
it's
just
kind
say
of
it
a
every
meme.
time.
It's
Yeah.
a kind of a meme in Korea, actually. We do it. We usually yell tasteless when he's not here. Weirdly.
yeah, it does. It does.
Like he's
actually
not
happen.
watching right now. He has no idea that we're doing this, and he will never know either. And we won't tell him.
We
We're
could just
gonna yell
send
his
him. We
name.
could send him a clip. We just send him a clip and just like just let him know like, hey, Nick, you were on the challenge broadcast, by the way. Just to let you know. I wonder if he's streaming right now. We could send
He
you
might
guys
be.
there. Imagine that. We could like raid Tasteless from the Challenger chat. But no,
I don't
we
think he's
can't do
streaming
it.
right now.
He's not.
You guys
Feels
can check
bad.
his channel out, Tasteless TV.
Yeah, Tasteless TV.
He's gonna be like, I got all these weird followers in the middle of the night. That's strange.
He's got some of the best StarCraft 1 content after Artosis, or with Artosis, because half of his stream is Artosis as well.
Yeah, half of his stream is Artosis getting mad at people.
Yeah, I think
great.
every alert that he has is just Artosis getting mad. And it's Dan's birthday today.
That's right.
Holy crap!
That's
wow,
right.
there we
I
go.
saw that on Twitter. Yeah, happy birthday to
Happy
Artosis.
birthday to Artosis, one of the OGs. I wonder, he's probably 27 now, something like that.
I think 16.
Yeah, 16. Wow, 4 kids at 16. It's impressive.
It's 7:30, and I'm about to go home. I don't know what it means.
Whoa.
Like it's probably dark by now.
I
But,
assume so, but like that's too early. Maybe we can convince them to just like play a VOD of like something else, and we could just sit here. Like, is the LPL on? We could co-stream the LPL. I wonder
Bible
whether
is already in talks with Kespa. He's like, let's make it a best of 7. Let's actually
Yep.
change the rules. Bible's like, I want to beat him a 4th time.
Hey, actually, if it was a best of 7, KT would win. Right?
Bigger reverse sweep. Yeah.
Wait, actually, no, because it's like, hang on, how does it go? There's like win, loss, win for D+, right? That's how the order goes. So
Maybe not.
unfortunately, it's not actually going to lead.
But
to
it would have been a
victory.
series.
Yeah, it would have. We would have got there. Now we'll never know
We'll never
until
know.
we get to tomorrow's match, which needs to begin. Remember, guys, it needs to begin with DRX winning game 1, and then D+ wins the remaining 3, and we get that order. We get
That's what
that
I'm going to
beautiful
pred.
graph.
3-1 D+.
Yep, has to
That's
be.
my pred.
Guess
I'm a
Atlas
3-1
can go
Andy.
for his night stroll. Yes, I can. This time I can.
Yeah.
If it's not raining. It was kind of raining this morning.
I'll check
Not
and
really.
see if my phone says it's raining or not.
Yeah, my watch.
It's
might
been
have.
rainy. I didn't drive to work today.
It's cloudy.
Mine says rain,
Oh, that's not so good.
but
Subpar.
yeah.
Mm.
But it looks like it's only raining for the next 30 minutes or so, and then it will be just not
Hey,
raining for the rest of the night.
there you go. It's about 30 minutes for me to get home. Glorious.
It's
we
going
may have
to be
an
a
angle.
little bit chilly too this next week. What's up with this weather, man?
32? What?
No. It's chilly this week.
Ah, yeah. It's like I don't know.
It's 14 is the high tomorrow, even
You
though
know,
it's sunny.
also giving us all the information, also confirming that it's still raining. So there we go.
Unlucky. But only for like 30 more minutes, which it feels like we're probably going to get through, considering this is our little long 4C into changing, getting makeup off,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
that
yeah.
extra slice of pizza. So maybe we'll make it to no rain when I'm going to get a taxi today because I didn't drive.
Ooh. Okay, Wolf, this one's for you. Casters, do you think that this was Pool Bay's grand plan because he successfully flanked
my
the grand
God.
finals by going through lower bracket?
Until he shows up tomorrow, walks out on the stage, he's still flanking.
Yeah, I think so. Oh my
I like
goodness.
that. I like that.
And
That's
I
a
agree,
good-
guys. I'm sorry. Like, yes, I do love cloudy weather. It's just whether or not it's raining.
The rain, I think it has not rained for a long time in Korea, actually. So, like, we needed the rain. It's also going to clear out the air. So tomorrow, when it's sunny, it's going to be, like, a little bit cold for some reason, but also, like, very clear.
Yeah, it was like, it's been dusty the last
It's
few
been
days.
kind of nasty.
I keep like opening the windows to get fresh air because it's been winter and so we haven't had the windows open at all. And my fiance's just like, stop opening the windows. The air quality's terrible. What
My
are you
wife
doing?
is the same. Like, please don't open that. Why are
and then
you
I'll-
opening that?
And I'll accidentally like leave it open, like cracked open, and I'll go to work and then she'll come home and I'll get the message when she gets home and I'm like, oh no, I've done it again.
Yeah, my computer
Disaster.
window, that I like the window next to my PC. Like, I leave it open a lot, and the like space in the window there, like where it's a sliding window, like the rails, I guess, are
Yeah.
not very clean right now. Not very clean right now.
Yeah, no, it's not great. Casters, if you could combine two champions, who would have the most fun voice lines? Brolaf and
I'm like, for me, I'm like Ezreal plus anything, just to hear like
Brolaf Ezreal?
like if you could imagine like I don't know Ezreal's voice lines in Mordekaiser's voice.
What about Brolaf with Nasus's voice?
Okay,
Bro. Chug.
you belong in a Broseum. Just imagine Mordekaiser's like, I definitely do not have a plan. I totally have one of those.
That's a good question. We'll have to come back to you on that one. So if you just hop over to the Challenger broadcast tomorrow, Chronicler and Valdez will be able to update you. We'll,
I'm
we'll
just
think about it.
chilling in my chair. I'm like leaning back.
Yeah,
It's
I
one
was
of those
like,
days where I'm like,
doing
it's
a little bit
casual.
of
It's like a
both.
casual vibe today because it's a
Yeah.
3-0. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I said a bad word on the stream. It's
That was game one as well. Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised we didn't like. By the way, oh my god, I've never actually noticed that it says challenge to the top.
Oh yeah, it actually scared me when I noticed it the first time, and I told Valdez about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's always been there." I was like, "Really?"
I've literally never seen it before.
Yeah, I never noticed it until like maybe like week 6 or something like that, and then I was like, "Whose words there?" Like,
Well, that's exactly what happened. I'm like, is it like now? Like I finally managed to do the magic eye thing, like the little puzzle where like you finally get to figure it out, and you're like, I can see it. That's actually that's the first time. Okay, so yeah, Rathan. I'm sorry that it's redundant, but yeah, I had to feel it again. That's how it goes.
We still never figured out if the Challengers logo is a ward or not. We're still not sure what it is.
Next week it'll say Fast Turtle 23. I hope so.
Next week
I
there
really
won't be
hope so.
Challengers. That's the sad reality. It's gonna be months without Challengers, guys. We only have one
know.
more. It's actually I'm not casting the finals. I'll spoil it. So this is gonna be my last time with chat for a little while.
I know,
It's
we're not
kind of
gonna be-
weird.
I think I spoiled it earlier on, but it is because we're
Yeah.
here today, going to be Valdez and Chronicler. Tomorrow, as
Oh, that's right. You're not casting the finals either.
nope, no, it's not you and I. I'm doing a different finals. That's going to be coming up, and I think you're going to be there.
I'm gonna be there. We're all gonna be there.
Everyone's going to be there.
By the way, be there tomorrow at 5 p.m. KST, the normal starting time for the Challengers finals. Do not miss that.
Also, this is the first time that DK and DRX have met. Like, this is actually so hype because it's not a rematch here in the grand final. Actually, so sick. And I'm also so glad that we get to say grand final because finally there's a lower bracket, and so now there actually is a grand final when we get there. It's so cool.
It's really sick. These logos actually look really cool next to each other too.
Yeah.
Like the color scheme.
I also think that like with the background, it also looks dope. Like, it just kind of works.
Everything is amazing.
Yeah, everything is awesome.
And yeah, I'll probably pop in the chat tomorrow, guys. I'll see you guys around.
I'll 100% be there. So make sure that you only say really nice things to everyone. Otherwise, we get destroyed by the ban hammer.
That's
right.
right.
Not true. No, I'd never. I don't ban people. Never do that.
I wonder, can we break 10,000 viewers tomorrow?
Whoa!
I think that might
for
be
the final?
that might be crazy a crazy ask, but like
I think if we just like live tweet about it like the whole time, maybe we could get like enough people clicking on it.
yeah.
Not entirely sure.
Spread the word. Tell your friends. I'm like, and if you go to a watch party for the finals, make sure everyone has it open on their phones.
Yeah.
Don't take our viewers away. Watch it together, but also separately as well.
I mean, if you played it on the LCK Twitch channel, you'd probably get that.
Yeah, probably.
You'd have a lot of people asking like, "Where's Beryl?" But that's fine. I think that's totally fine. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, can't believe it was a 3-0.
Yeah,
Kinda-
it still hasn't hit me yet.
No, it's a bit strange. I guess it'll hit us when we go outside and we're like blinded by the light through the clouds and the rain.
Yeah.
It would be there. I didn't bring an umbrella as well.
At least we're not ending so fast that it's like rush hour. It's
That's
7:30,
true.
so I should be able to get a taxi pretty quickly.
It'll be pretty busy. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
We'll
It'll
be
okay.
fine.
It'll
It'll
be
be a-okay. But the best thing, the thing that's going to be the most a-okay, is the grand final that's going to be happening tomorrow. And is it a 3-1 in favor of
Probably.
DK? I think that's my last pred. That's my pred. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
doing it
scared.
too. I'm with you. I'm actually thinking that's probably what's going to go down. I trust this D+ roster. I think DRX are very good, and they have like a lot of mind games they play, and they also are really good at reverse sweeping and suddenly randomly being very good, like their counterpart was last year.
Yep.
But the one thing that's going for DRX in terms of like weird conspiracy theories is that they keep going to fives. Like they just keep going to fives as an org. Like every best of 5 they play in goes 5. It's crazy. So
They've
Chrono counted it was like
reverse
what,
swept
like
so many
8 in a row
times.
or something they've done.
Yeah. No, it's actually it's insane. I think it's at least 7 that the organization in best of 5s. It's been 5, like 7 games in a row that it was 5. No, it's real silly. It's very, very silly. But yeah, man. I just feel like we should be commentating more. Like my voice is like warmed up, you know. I'm like ready to go.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like tired and want to go home. It's like I'm ready for more League of Legends.
Yeah, me too. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess we are. And then
And
of
it's a
course-
longer wait than usual because we ended so early. It's very
I
annoying.
know. Oh, what? I never even thought about it that way. It's even worse.
There's more time between challengers than there should be.
By the way, you should join Chronicler's Discord so that Bun Bun can
Yeah, I actually thought I was in there. I guess I'm not.
get pictures of your cats, which is important, I think.
I'm not
it's
a huge
not Ox, by
Discorder.
the way. His name is Ox now. We're spelling it O-X.
O-X, please.
If you go and have a look at the comment section on the most recent Pog State video, you will see that that
No
Ox is actually that's his new name. Yeah, Fred, that's it. Ox. O-X.
No one said anything about whether Ox was in the Zodiac. It is.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah.
confirmed that the Ox.
2033 is the year of the Ox.
So that's in 10 years from now. That sounds like about the amount of time travel that we have been doing recently.
I'm trying to see what years is it would be hilarious if he actually is an Ox in the Zodiac, but I don't think he is, but I don't know how to check.
But wait, the TFT subreddit just posts making fun of Oxforce trait. I just
19
won a game with Oxforce, last night.
What year was Ox born in?
One
If
of
he's
the
1997, which he could be.
it was a year around 25 to 27
Oh,
years ago.
1995. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was 1995, but I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
Hmm.
He's not that young. Okay,
No.
if it was 1997, he would have been an Ox, but He's 95. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to look it up. I
Yeah,
kind
I
of
know.
wish I didn't check.
Do you like how I thought to myself as if I have any idea? I know that I'm Year of the Dragon. That's all I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But it is now time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. We're sorry that there wasn't the maximum amount of games, but hopefully tomorrow we'll make it up to you. For now, good night. We'll see you tomorrow for the grand final.
네.